If you have 250 Ghana cedis right now, it can do wonders for you. Chairman, Fabeji, it could turn your tears into joy in the Access Bank Fakitwabeji Kesiye promo. Madam, Fabeji, it could get you up to 50,000 Ghana cedis cash prize. Business owner, Fabeji. As a student, make transactions with your Access Bank card, and that could get you Spotify and Netflix subscriptions, PS5, iPhone 16 Pro Max, and more. This be out of class sense. Fabeji, you see what 250 Ghana cedis can do for you? And Gasakra. Fabeji, it's the Access Bank Fakitwabeji Kesiye promo. Deposit a minimum of 250 Ghana cedis and its multiples in your new or existing account and be on your way to winning a share of the 580,000 Ghana cedis in cash prizes and other amazing rewards. The more you deposit, the more your chances of winning. Promo runs from now to September 2025. This promo is in partnership with NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply. Access Bank, more than banking.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
When I was a young boy, I had visions of fame, and they were wild and they were free, and they were blessed with my name.
And then I grew older, and I saw what's to see, that the world is full of pain, and my dreams they left me.
And then I got stronger inside of the pain.
That's when I picked up the pieces, and I regained my name.
And I fought hard, y'all, carve out my place, and right now you look at me, and it don't seem in vain.
Your dreams ain't easy, but just stick by your place. Go from boy to man, you gotta act like a man. When it gets hard, you got what you know, and my background certain.
You will know.
And I know you're crying, 'cause it's all in dismay. And the things you want, you can't have. They just going away. But life ain't over.
Ooh, just grab the wind and make amends, and the vibe will take you far.
Your dreams ain't easy.
Stand by your man.
Go from boy to man. I know it ain't easy.
It gets hard sometimes, yes it does. Stand up tall, don't you fall, and you will know, yeah. You will know, hey, there's no doubt about it. Hey, you will know.
So Black Men United 6:35, Tuesday the 13th day of May, and the show is airborne.
Your dreams ain't easy. Think by your plans. Boys a man. You will think like a man.
And of course, the two big boys are in the house, Richard Delaskai and Caleb Kuda, with a great smile on his face. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bernard.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Yes, yes, please.
How's everything?
I'm just loving it.
Oh, beautiful.
You know, I'm just looking forward to the day.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's a fantastic time.
Yes,
the
sir.
best month of the year is the month of May.
Uh-huh.
The city is getting stronger.
Yes.
People say they'll reduce prices. We are not
Uh-huh.
sure.
The US and China have signed a deal.
You know, so it means that things may change soon.
Yeah.
You know, but
Well, the best part is that someone someone has given me honey to come and share with them.
Oh, honey.
Yeah,
honey.
As
honey.
Anichi.
Yeah, Anichi.
Oh, okay.
He's a soldier and he sells goat.
A soldier who sells
honey.
goat.
Yes.
Is it even allowed? No, hold on.
And he has a honey too on the side.
I have a doctor who sells chicken.
Yeah, this
now
one
you have a soldier who sells goat
Mm-hmm.
and has honey on top.
Yes.
Hey, is it that they don't have work that they are selling those things? Or is it
No, they have to balance that.
It's very, very important.
a soldier who sells goat?
Yeah, man. Around the knee of Oriteria.
No, what's the name of his honey brand?
Oh, I will get it for you.
No,
very
we should
soon.
get him a name.
Stevia honey.
Yes.
Or
No.
soldier honey.
No, yeah,
Or
we just-
soldier bees honey.
Hey, a soldier who sells honey.
Allah. Quick one. There's something that I'm concerned about.
What
I
are you
thought I
concerned
should-
about?
You see,
Yes.
I am one of those people who believes
Yes.
that
Yes.
we need to introduce technology
Yes.
in our educational spaces.
Technology and educational spaces.
Exactly.
So what is going on?
But I'm concerned about the number of schools running almost full-time lectures online these days.
Are you talking about primary school, secondary school,
I'm talking about universities,
who are running full time?
almost full-time.
So the university, you don't see the lecturers' face.
You don't see the lecturers' face. The lecturers' faces.
On
The
the-
students are on what claims itself to be a mobile phone or
Yeah.
tablet.
Yeah,
The screens all over the place.
yeah. They are not
They
listening
are
to the
not
lecture.
listening. They are not paying
They
attention.
are playing game.
They are either in selling cocoa or in trotro or in the market doing something.
And
Bernard.
they put the phone next to them.
Exactly.
Allegedly in school.
Exactly. And when you ask them, they say, "Oh, sir, I'm recording." But they are not paying. How can you teach economics on
Are you
on a mobile
talking
phone?
as a lecturer or as a student?
Bernard, you see, I have a number of people in the university.
Yes.
So I believe I've earned the right to raise this particular.
You pay school fees and you monitor.
Exactly.
The Guardian.
And the quality of results that I'm seeing are disturbing.
As in the students are not taking the thing serious. Or
They are not-
the system that is not amenable to seriousness.
Exactly, because Bernard, you and I, when we went to the university,
Hey.
you go to the lecture halls.
Oh, the Bible one thing will take chalk.
Exactly.
He will draw the graph and you will copy it.
So when they say they've run a regression, and
Yes.
this is the curve.
You can prove it.
Exactly, you know the formula used.
Yes.
If you are on your phone,
Yes.
or something parading itself as a phone,
Yes.
and then the lecturer is telling you that this is the formula that you use,
Uh-huh.
how do you even understand what the lecturer is saying?
That's why he will come around and say, Caleb, we are not talking for 5 minutes. What are you saying? So the lecturers will look, maybe you have 10 people on the call. After 5 minutes, say, Caleb, talk. Then you say, hey, Mauli, say something. Hey, Bernard, talk.
Bernard, I don't think it's worth
We have to enter this matter. I am more concerned about the use of gadgets by people who are below 18.
Okay.
I was reading a report a couple of days ago about addiction to phones and gadget addiction and too much screen time.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I think that it's a bigger problem than if I'm in university, if you are 28 years, you are in university and you say you won't learn, that's your own problem. But if you are 12, 13, and because you are stressing your parents, they give you the phone and you play it, that's a bigger problem. Because somebody can masquerade as a child playing a game with you. Meanwhile, he's an old man, you know, and he wants to damage your life. So I think that's more pressing. I agree with your own that maybe the way education is delivered is changing and we have to rise up. But I feel like the screen time is becoming a big problem.
Yeah.
It's becoming a major problem, and I really wish I had a way to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, because and by you know, now kids can't even write properly. The way they even hold the pen.
And it takes a longer time for them to start speaking because they're always doing games, content online.
And some of the schools, they don't
So-
give them. You know, when I was young, we used to write notes.
Yep.
Now they don't have notebook. They have files. They have folder, and they've printed the thing, and they are just filling the blank. Hey, so you can't even write.
Yeah.
Charlie, we have to. the
Meanwhile, we are
education
told that writing helps
makes
you to
a
properly
fool.
internalize.
He said writing makes an exact man. Yeah.
Science makes a complete man.
So it's very important to deal with this. So, Richard Sky.
Yes.
But the truth is that I have two newspapers which are also digital.
Yeah.
So this morning, I have a newspaper called the High Street Journal.
Okay.
Fully digital.
Thank you.
Graphic too, they send the digital version. So it's not only the lecturers, the media houses too are going digital. That means you do strike today.
We need to, yes, we need to enter the space.
So actually, okay, so let me start with the Ghanaian Times.
Okay, go. Okay. The Ghanaian Times says this morning at AU Debt Summit, Free Africa of Debt Crisis. President Mahama is appealing to the rich world. Also, father jailed 10 years for impregnating 15-year-old daughter. Oh, master bit this. And then Ghanaian Times still continues to raise funds for Agnes Owusu. Please get a copy of the newspaper and support them with Momo. And biotechnology misconception disincentive to food security. Professor Saris goes there here.
Daily Graphic this morning. Citi's appreciation against dollar. Price reduction will take time. Professor Gachi, GNCCI, AGI call for sustainability. And then Sami Jemfi appears before presidency over Agrada dollar gift. Haptola 20 utilize digital innovation to create employment for youth. This is Minister speaking.
Can you repeat that?
Utilize digital innovation to create employment for the youth.
Yeah, you are on your own.
It's about the right use of technology. In this case, I support it. The other use, acquisition of knowledge, it has to be properly tailored.
Mr. Chairman, I'll give you 10 minutes to explain your point.
Very much.
And then the final one here, First Lady's Mother's Day touch. You see her holding a newborn baby in one of the hospitals.
Beautiful one there, beautiful one there. The Chronicle says a new chapter in Ghana's energy story. Committee commissioned to oversee construction of another gas plant. And oil giants ready to invest billions of dollars into petroleum upstream. Also on the front page this morning, World Bank hails Ghana's Soku project. Or is it Soku? One of them.
Daily Guide this morning, U.S. court casts a NAS $18 million award against Kennedy to $500. And man arrested with ammunition talisman. Chief of Staff grills Sami Jemfi over dollar splash. Minority calls for his head. The other stories here as well.
The Daybreak newspaper says how Cath, which is the Kolebu Komfanoche Teaching Hospital, was let down by own lawyer. Comes with a photograph of the Honorable Minister for Health, Minta Kando, and Professor Ochria Diamonds are the new chief executive. Also, I ignored intelligence not to go to Boku. IGP is telling Otumfo, and then some other stories here on the front page.
National Standard. Mahama rallies African leaders for one voice on debt ahead of 2025 G20 summit. DVLA and Ministry of Foreign Affairs meet over DVLA services abroad. Ghana's second gas processing plant will save nearly $500 million and create over 1,000 jobs. This is Ato Forsen, Finance Minister.
Let me take you to the Economy Times. Blooming economy. I think they want to say booming.
I think booming. The printers, the
booming economy. Boosted investor confidence. Mahama extolled amidst call to sustain gains. Also, Citi rebounds from world's worst to best performing currency. Some other stories here on the front page.
The New Republic. Government kicks off $400 million second gas plant. Mahama's generosity praised by Health Alliance. Ghana's iconic Nzulazu village under threat of collapse.
Okay, finally from me, the graphic business. Economy stable but fragile, S&P assesses. Also on the front page, Citi appreciation. Guta urges members to cut prices.
That story is on the overseer as well. Adjust prices with immediate effect. Guta to traders as Citi gains strength. And then also there is good news for Ghana as S&P upgrades credit rating, citing strong economic progress under Finance Minister Linda Oklu threatens dismissal of appointees over rejected MMDCEs. There are other stories here as well.
The High Street Journal is now fully digital. Accra ranked Africa's third fastest growing real estate market, driven by urban boom and investor optimism. Very interesting story we'll get into. There's an analysis here. US-China agreement. Will the anchor hold on the cedi, or will the anchor on the cedi hold for the next 90 days? That's a question. Meanwhile, monetary policy decision is the most important factor for cedi appreciation. Dr. Theo Echampong speaking there. And then World Bank spotlights Ghana's NEIP in $9 billion agri-food push to create jobs across Africa. Let me take you to a few more websites. If you go to citynewsroom.com, Boku crisis mediation has yielded some peace, according to the Otumfo. Makola Okanshi traders resist immediate price cuts despite cedi gains. You see that thing? Meanwhile, Theo Champon says sustained cedi stability key to economic planning. A few more headlines. Sami Jemfi must be held to same standard as Sisi Adapa, according to Wali Wali MP. And then can Japan defamed Anas legal victory not in dispute? This is Ade Clegg explaining the reduction in the sum. If you go to Channel 1 News, the lead story, Ghana left without a leader, minority cites constitutional breach. Also, Wejagbawe, no one was forced to show votes in MCA confirmation. Okulu refutes. And the Citi gains not sustainable until IPP payments begin. Wale MP speaking. Meanwhile, Blackstar Advisors says Citi may gain for first time in decades when we look at the year on year. Let's get into the details. There's a lot of discussion about the Citi and whether people will reduce prices. Maybe you want to start with that?
FABAG is announcing drop in food, beverage prices, calls for national price reduction campaign, and they have announced FABAG, Food and Beverage Association of Ghana, has announced that prices of key commodities within the sector have begun falling with further reductions expected in the coming weeks. The association has indicated, however, that price reduction would be gradual, given that the current stock of goods in the market might have been acquired at the previous higher exchange rate. Now, Executive Secretary of FABAG, John Awone, told Graphic that it would take some time for the improved Citi to have an impact on local prices. He stressed that the expected impact would be more pronounced in the long term when the Citi's rise against the major currencies was sustained across a longer period.
Talking about the economy, there are two stories I want to bring to your attention quickly in the graphic business. The front page story says economy stable but fragile. The story is by Suleiman Mustafa. They are quoting S&P. They are assessing the economy.
That was actually from yesterday.
Exactly. But what I actually am interested in is the story that would concern Bernard. Car dealers worry over high cost of vehicles. Stakeholders call for policy reforms to address rising prices. So Emmanuel Kwame Asante, forgive me, says this morning on page 3 of the newspaper that the sharp increase in vehicle prices in Ghana has become a major concern for both consumers and car dealers alike. Now, over the past year, the cost of purchasing a vehicle, whether new or used, has risen steeply, leaving many Ghanaians frustrated and dealers grappling with slower sales and shrinking profits. Now, several car dealers in Accra say the problem is multifaceted, ranging from the volatile exchange rate to high import duties and the effects of global inflation. Now, there are some codes here. For instance, the import duties are ridiculous. You pay duty on everything. The car, the engine, the size, the year of manufacture, even the weight. It makes no sense. A car we bought for $6,000 can end up costing 100,000 Ghana cedis by the time it is in.
Now, this is now going for 100,000 plus.
There's a lot of discussion on cost and on the price of cars, but I will stay with that because today the vehicle manufacturers are also holding a conference.
Fantastic.
So they want tariffs on imported cars. Meanwhile, vehicle importers want the tariff removed. So we have to make a decision whether we want to build a local automotive industry of assembling cars or we want to allow cheaper cars to come in to create jobs or find a way to deal with the matter. Meanwhile, Makola Onokainshi traders are resisting at immediate price cuts despite Citi gains. This is Citi Newsroom reporting that some traders within the Makola and Okanshi business hubs are pushing back against mounting calls to reduce the prices of goods despite the recent rebound of the Ghanaian cedi against major trading partners or currencies. In recent weeks, the cedi has shown some resilience, reversing months of depreciation. This development has reignited public expectations for price reductions, particularly on imported goods. However, many traders argue that their current stock was purchased at much higher exchange rate, making immediate price cuts financially unfeasible. Ghanaian traders. In fact, those types of stories are all over on my journal line as well. Guta, for example, says sustain the cedi gain or it will be in vain. Now, the trade minister says government cannot push price reduction on traders. So, Minister for Trade, Industry and Agribusiness, Elizabeth Ofusue-Jare, says the government cannot push traders to reduce prices despite the recent appreciation of the cedi, but insists there is room for fairness. Speaking on the pulse, the minister explained that Ghana operates a liberal market system where the government does not fix prices. And then she pointed out that traders have often increased their prices when the dollar goes up. So it's only fair for them to adjust their prices now that the cedi has appreciated. Madam Ofusue-Jare praised the Guta for taking the initiative to engage their members and hope that the people will take cue and reduce their prices.
So it is not only the cedi-dollar relationship that is affecting business. The power sector is also a major problem. The last time I saw some videos on social media talking about power outage at the Kotoka International Airport. Well, the minister for the sector says something is being done about the energy sector problems. Now, new chapter in Ghana's energy story. Kwesi Alfred Adams reporting from Takoradi for the Chronicle, P3, says the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullah Jinapor, says the government of Ghana, through the Ghana National Gas Company Limited, is set to begin the construction of a second gas processing plant in the Western region. Now, the minister made the announcement at the Africa Energy Forum as part of the 2025 Offshore Technology Conference in faraway United States of America. Now, in fulfillment of this pledge, Mr. John Abdullah Jinapor and the Finance Minister Kesil Atuforsen inaugurated a committee in Accra yesterday to oversee the construction of the second gas plant. Now, it will be recalled that the John Mahama government decided to construct gas processing plant 2, which is GPP2, during its first cabinet.
All right.
Well, it goes on to give you some details.
Still within the energy sector, establishment of second gas processing plant committee is set up to oversee project. This is in the center spread of.
I just did that.
Oh, I thought you were.
Yeah, so it's
the gas.
It's the same
gas.
story with a different twist. So maybe Caleb, I want you to come to the daily guide then and bring us the Anas Kennedy Japan story.
Fantastic. So U.S. court cuts announces $18 million award against Kennedy to $500. Jibril Abdul Razak is writing on page 3 of Daily Guide that a U.S. judge has reduced the $18 million awarded to investigative journalist Anas Aremeyaw Anas by a jury to a mere $500. This follows a motion for remittal filed by lawyers for the former member of parliament for Asin Central, challenging the excessive sum awarded by the jury in March this year. A remittal is a ruling by a judge, usually following a motion to reduce or throw out a jury verdict, lowering the amount of damages granted by a jury in a civil case. Now, a jury had awarded $80 million against Mr. Kennedy Japan and Frederick Asamoah, a social media commentator, following a defamation suit filed by Anas in the Essex County Superior Court in New Jersey. This defamation suit stems from statements Mr. Japan made following the airing of the BBC documentary on corruption, Betraying the Game, on October 28, 2018.
Okay, some stories in the Ghanaian Times for this morning. So, for instance, the minority is calling for Samij Fee's dismissal for allegedly gifting dollars to Nana Agrada. If you're interested in that story, go to page 4 of the Ghanaian Times. But a disturbing story is on page 3 of the Ghanaian Times. Father jailed 10 years for impregnating 15-year-old daughter. Now, the circuit court at Toko in the Ketusa municipality, that's my area, has sentenced the 36-year-old father to 10 years imprisonment in hard labor for impregnating his daughter. Now, the convict, Koche Ziga, an electrician residing at Dotekope, a suburb of Aplau, defiled his 15-year-old daughter, resulting.
So this story was first sent to us by Sylvia Wee from our partner station in Aplau.
This is so unfortunate.
Who's been following these types of stories pretty closely. Now, I wanted to pick one quickly. Ghana left without a leader, minority cites constitutional breach. This story is on Channel 1 News. The minority caucus in Parliament has condemned what it calls a blatant breach of the 92 Constitution, following the simultaneous absence of the President, the Vice President, and the Speaker of Parliament from the country without swearing in of an acting President. In a statement released on Monday, May 12, the minority leader revealed that all 3 high-ranking officials were out of the country at the same time, a scenario they argue violates Article 6 of the Constitution. This article mandates that when both the President and the Vice President are absent, the Speaker must be sworn in as acting President. Now, at the time of the statement, President Mahama was in Togo attending the African Union Debt Conference, while the Vice President was receiving medical treatment in the UK. The caucus also highlighted that the Speaker, Abambabin, was supposed to step in during their absence, is out of the country. According to the Constitution, in the absence of the 3, the Chief Justice is to act as President. However, this acting CJ has been suspended. So the minority described the actions of the presidency as deliberate and calculated, accusing the administration of treating the Constitution as an inconvenience rather than a binding statement. We have not gotten a reaction from government on this yet.
Well, Dade Kotopo MCE nominee rejected. Members demand a crown. Story by Daily Guide on page 4. There was drama at the Dade Kotopo Municipal Assembly in Accra as assembly members overwhelmingly rejected President John Dramani Mahama's nominee for Municipal Chief Executive Alfredo Sni Anyate. The rejection has sparked renewed calls for long-serving party stalwart and current chief whip of the Assembly, Aaron Akron, to be nominated for the top job. The event, which was attended by the Member of Parliament for the area and Deputy Minister of Local Government, Rita Nao Dole Soa, at the Greater Accra Regional Minister Linda Oklu, ended in disappointment for the president's nominee. Mr. Anyete polled only 5 votes out of 14, representing just 36%, falling well short of the 2/3 majority required for confirmation.
Okay, let me add a quick footnote to that story. If you go to page 9 of the Ghanaian Times, Greater Accra Regional Minister expresses concern about rejection of MMDC nominees. And the story by Cecilia Yada Lagba in Adan says the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Miss Linda Akwele Oklu, has expressed concern regarding the ongoing rejection of nominees for metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executive positions across different assemblies. Now, she indicated that such rejections could severely impact the development of the affected assemblies, and the lack of MCs can affect.
Let me end with railway. Railway workers threaten to shut down operations over 7 months and pay salary. I'm reading a Star FM version. It says commuters traveling between Tema and Accra may need to make alternative transport arrangements starting tomorrow, as railway workers threaten to shut down operations over 7 months of unpaid salaries. Angry and frustrated employees of the Ghana Railway Company have issued an ultimatum to the management and government to pay outstanding arrears by close of day today or face a complete halt in operations.
Bernard, there's a story that I want to draw attention quickly to.
Which one?
On page 14 of the Ghanaian Times. It says, overbilled ECG customers reimbursed. So you can get your money back if they overbill you. The story is on page 14, is from Jirasa Sunyai, says that electricity consumer in the Bono region who were overbilled by the Northern Electricity Distribution Company to the tune of 16,263.74 Ghana cedis in the first quarter of this year have been reimbursed. So please, if you have been overbilled, make a report to the PURC, because the PURC is actually leading the charge.
Wonderful.
So that you can get your money back.
That was the newspaper review. We'll be back with more. Coming up next is the City Business News.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink, and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangy fruit drink, bursting with tangy flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-32231. Piva, a taste you'd love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out there your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out there your side. And when you dream, no say I never you. And when you hustle every day, when you wanna go, anything you do, I never you. If I believe I did your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I did your side, fidelity.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
City Business News at 7. Caleb Kuda has the details this morning. Caleb, welcome back.
Thank you, Bernard. Hello, good morning to you and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News Bulletin. Is proudly brought to you by EcoBank, MTN and Girl. I am Caleb Kuda. Coming up, traders in Accra push back on price cut demands despite Citi gains. Also, market watchers warn Citi's upward momentum is at risk without policy discipline. And later, telecom firms call for targeted energy support to boost digital economy. Thanks for joining us. The details now. Some traders within the Mokola and Okanshi business enclaves are pushing back against growing calls to immediately reduce prices of goods despite the recent rebound of the Ghana cedi against the US dollar and other major foreign currencies. Emmanuel Opong visited the Central Business District of Accra and reports.
In recent weeks, the cedi has shown marked resilience, reversing months of depreciation, a development that has reignited public expectations for downward price adjustments, especially for imported goods. As of Monday, some forex bureaus were selling the US dollar at 13 cedis 50 pesos. However, many traders argued that existing stock was purchased at higher exchange rates, making immediate price reductions unsustainable.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you, no say. So Obi Ako last December.
I disagree with calls for price reductions. For instance, if someone placed import orders a month ago when the dollar was trading at 16 cedis, the recent appreciation of the Ghana cedi doesn't automatically reflect in current prices. If the cedi remains stable, we may begin to see price reductions around August.
September, August. What I say, because Nipa Pebre near my friend and for Nema Marco Faba.
Mami Efwa, a trader in grains, cereals, and other groceries, echoed similar sentiments.
Most of us have things in stock like old stuffs. So with that, we can't reduce the prices unless we import new ones. Mefa said the dollar no rates now above from no ebekano. But as at now, with the old stock, we are still holding on the same price.
The traders also affirmed claims by the Food and Beverage Association of Ghana that prices of some commodities are beginning to decline, but were quick to add that the reductions are marginal.
Previously, sugar na metal 1 bag, you know.
Previously, a bag of sugar was selling for 740 Ghana cedis, but the current price has dropped to around 640 Ghana cedis.
Into with sugar there, ne boaba from kakra.
Formerly, some of the rice is 110, now it's 100, some is 90, now it's 85, 80.
Emmanuel Opong with that report. Meanwhile, market watchers have identified the need to keep gold prices high and tighten government spending as key strategies to sustain the cedi's recent gains against the US dollar. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's current affairs program, The Point of View, economist Dr. Theo Echampon underscored that without discipline and consistent action, the current improvements could quickly vanish. Dr. Echampon expressed optimism that with the right measures, the cedi would continue its upward trajectory for the rest of the year, boosting investor confidence and supporting broader economic growth.
One of them being, if we still see the gold price being extremely high for the rest of the year, I can bet you that the cedi is going to gain further to the dollar. On the fiscal side, when we come to the half year point, and we're already in May. So in July, the finance minister will come to parliament and they'll present maybe the supplementary and half-year estimates. If we see even better numbers on the fiscal side, if we see more commitment on trying to rein in on expenditure and some of the things that have been said in the budget that was read in March, again, that positive signal will still feed through to the FX market.
Dr. Theo Echampong is an economist. Still on the performance of the Ghana Citi, Chief Investment Officer at Black Stars Advisors, Ajay Boateng, pointed out that greater currency stability would enhance planning and forecasting for businesses and investors.
Being able to be stable for an extended period of time is perhaps more important than the downward trend, because that brings an element of predictability, so you can plan around that. And when you listen to what the governor said the last couple of weeks, his view was more around, okay, he much rather we stabilize it for maybe say the next 3, 4, 5 years at a stable rate, because that means that we're able to sort of plan, and the ordinary person can sort of plan their life properly. But I think things are in place. But another bit that one could sort of say is that, okay, can we use this to perhaps reduce some of the external debt? So if we've built up a bit of reserve, could we sort of reduce a little bit of the external debt so that the interest payments that we have to sort of pay actually comes down?
Chief Investment Officer at Black Stars Advisors, Ajay Boateng. Finance Minister Dr. Kessiel Atuforsen has charged the newly inaugurated Implementation Committee for Ghana's second gas processing plant, GPP2, to submit a comprehensive execution plan within a month. The committee, chaired by Deputy Energy Minister Richard Jan Mensah, is expected to coordinate all technical, financial, and regulatory activities to fast-track the project. Speaking at the inauguration, Dr. Forsen stressed the need to avoid bureaucratic delays that have stalled similar projects, saying timely delivery is essential to national economic stability.
The problem, as we see, is far bigger than what the country can accommodate. This simply means that we have to fast-track this gas processing plant too. I want to also use this opportunity to urge the technical committee to expedite action and for us to quickly resolve the concerns that have raised. We need to have a second gas processing plant as soon as possible. And I believe that the technical committee will be able to finish their work in time for us to commission a contractor or a business to be able to build a second gas processing plant. If we give you a month, I'm sure, Chair, a month should be enough.
Finance Minister Dr. Kessiel Atuforsen there for his part. The Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor, noted that the project is expected to save Ghana nearly $500 million every 2 years and boost industrial gas supply.
Even as all of us agree that the cost of electricity hits our pockets, the truth is that that $1 billion is not reflected in the current tariff structure. Demand is projected to increase by about 300 megawatts every year. And so next year, your guess is as good as mine. So something ought to be done urgently to address this situation. The gas processing plant is estimated to generate about 1,500 direct and indirect jobs.
Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor. Telecommunication players are demanding targeted government interventions to ease power-related costs in the sector in a bid to unlock the needed growth in the digital economy. Group CEO of Telecel, Mo Damush, admits that power costs remain the most significant operational challenge impacting telecom prices both in Ghana and across the continent. In an interview with Citi Business News on the sidelines of the 2025 Africa CEO Forum in Abidjan, Mo Damush noted that energy expenses are a major factor behind data pricing, a development making it difficult to expand affordable connectivity to underserved areas.
There are different ways, of course. One, the government, as we currently see in different governments, focus on the power investments with the indirect benefits of those investments on various sectors, including the telecom sector. A second one is, of course, for certain industries like the telecom industry, where it's so much relying on power and power prices, subsidizing the power cost or finding a kind of support on the cost coming from the government will definitely and directly benefit the end users in terms of quality, and at the same time in terms of availability, in terms of income for the government from the telecom sector, which I believe also is a good contributor to the economy in any given country.
Modamush is Group CEO of Telecel. Let's now have a quick market check on the currency board. The dollar could be sold to you at 13 cedis 60 pesos. The euro is going for 15 cedis 50 pesos, and the British pound is going for 17 cedis 50 pesos. Remember, these are the rates being offered at some forex bureau within the capital. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the City Business News. It was brought to you by EcoBank, MTN, and Guel. For more news, visit citynewsroom.com/business. I am Caleb. Could I have a good business day?
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Massa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper. So you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no.
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look. The video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise. This is the City Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
7:30 on the City Breakfast Show. And you heard the City Business News. This week is coming to you from Caleb Kuda. It's brought to you by EcoBank. Every day people face different kind of emergencies. Some have to do police, fire, medical. Well, for many Ghanaians, money is an emergency. But this is where EcoBank comes in. We have a new number. It's *770#. It's the new EcoBank Money Emergency number. Gives you instant access to loans, funds transfers, utility payments, airtime, and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. There's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. Simply dial *770# for solutions to your money problems. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Hey, boss lady, yes, you, the go-getter, the planner, the do-it-all woman, building your business one step at a time. MTN sees you and we're cheering you on every step of the way. That's why we've created MTN Ejumapa just for you. It's more than a bundle, it's your new business bestie. With special data and call bundles, you stay connected to your customers, suppliers, and everything that helps your hustle grow. But wait, there's more. MTN Ejumapa also comes with insurance benefits to help protect the business you've worked so hard to build. Because we know you're not just working for today, you're building a future. It's time to level up, scale up, and shine brighter than ever. Dial *5060# now. Grab your Ejumapa bundle and let's get work on your success story together. MTN Ejumapa, powering women in business. Kickoff is our sports bulletins brought to you by Lesheho. The Don't Call Me campaign has come to you because you deserve financial peace. From now to June 30, we reduce our interest rates just for you. Now, whether it's education, rent, or unexpected expenses, we've got the right loan to meet your needs. Simply WhatsApp or call Nana on 027 004 0799 or 027 004 0733. Let's share who, let's improve life. Segment is also brought to you by Polytank. Don't get deceived if you're not sure of what you're buying or you don't really know the market when it comes to water storage tanks. The name you should insist on is Polytank. It's been with us for the past 30 years, trusted by generations, available at the same price across the country at Polytank partner shops. Whether it's Rambo, the Hippo, the Sumo, or the Super Sumo. Polytank big. The original, stay with the best. Caution, we do not request for Momo payments online. So if somebody's asking you to pay into a Momo account, please, he's lying. And of course, Shell Helix Ultra Zero W20 SP. Hey, what a name! Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra Zero W20 SP with carbon neutral properties is the one for your premium car. Fully synthetic motor oil designed for natural gas using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power. Leaves your pistons cleaner than a whistle. Up to 50% more than industry standards. So if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra Zero W20 SP.
All of the pressure shifts to Gideon Asiako, the Dreams FC goalkeeper. If he saves it, they live for Smura. Rustenji! Rustenji! Saves Egypt through to the semi-finals. They've done it.
Edwin Kwakufi, he comes bearing bad news.
Very bad news.
The under-20 team will not be at the World Cup.
No, they won't.
Oh, no.
And they won't be in the semi-finals of the under-20 AFCON as well after they lost on penalties to host nation Egypt. We'll bring you more on that, plus some news from the NBA and from the Premier League as well. Kickoff is powered by Shell. Shell go well. Polytank Ghana's under GH. Elesheho, let's improve life. Well, we start off the bulletin with Ghana's Black Satellites, and they have been knocked out of the Under-20 African Cup of Nations, losing 4-3 on penalties to Egypt after the match, and the 2-2 after extra time. The Black Satellites went down by 2-0, but a good goal from Aziz Issa in the first half and a late penalty from Abdul Hakim Suleimana puts them level before penalty shootouts. However, as Egypt scored every single one of their penalties, Da Costa entry for the Black Satellites missed his, and now Egypt go into the semi-finals. They are joined by Nigeria, who knocked out defending champions Senegal, Morocco, who beat Sierra Leone by a 0-0, and South Africa, who got the same score line against DR Congo in the semi-finals of the competition. They also, of course, make it to the Under-20 World Cup in Chile, and the Black Satellites, as a result, have missed out on the tournament for this year. You good, better luck to them next time. But we move on to the Premier League, where Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim says he is embarrassed by the club's form in the Premier League since he took over. United have only won 6 of their 25 matches since Amorim was appointed as head coach, and currently sits 16th on the table. The Red Devils' form in the Europa League has been the complete opposite, as they remain undefeated and play Spurs in the final on the 21st of May. But despite this, Amorim is not pleased with how their league form has deteriorated.
When did you first get that feeling about things maybe not being right?
You have that feeling when you see things and you see the way we play. But again, it seems like I'm pushing all to the players. I'm the responsible, and I'm really. It's hard to find another word. I'm really embarrassed of, in 26 games, win 6, and something is wrong in the way we are playing football. And sometimes it's not about the way we play. tactically and technically. It's the way we face competition and the way we suffer and the way we get mad because we are losing and the way we protect the goal. And these things we need to improve.
That was Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim. Now, former Liverpool defender Jamie Carragher has weighed in on the recent boos aimed at Trent Alexander-Arnold, calling the reaction unnecessary. Carragher believes it's natural for players to aspire to join elite clubs like Real Madrid and says supporters need to recognise that footballers often see the game differently.
I think teammates in his dressing room would normally rally around most people 99% of the time. And supporters of any football club or Liverpool right now probably won't want to hear this, but most players probably in that Liverpool dressing room probably want to play for Real Madrid. You know, I've been in a dressing room where players left us to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, so it's sometimes really hard for supporters to, you know, you almost feel like they fall for it every time in some ways, that you think, oh, this player absolutely loves us, and then they move on and go somewhere else. Players don't think like supporters. So as I said, a lot of those supporters, players in the dressing room will think, I'd love to play for Real Madrid. They would. You know, but Andy Robertson's not daft. He's going to come out, he's going to support Trent, and he's going to support the supporters. Arne Slot, I haven't seen the interview, he's going to do exactly the same. Do that.
That was former Liverpool defender Jamie Carragher. And now Sheffield United cruise into the Championship playoff final with a thumping 6-0 aggregate win over Bristol City after a 3-0 win last night. Chris Wilder's men will now face either Sunderland or Coventry City in the playoff final at Wembley on Saturday, the 24th of May, as they look to secure an immediate return to the Premier League. Sunderland lead 2-1 from the first leg, with the second leg set to be played tonight. Away from that, Real Madrid boss Carlo Ancelotti will leave the Spanish club at the end of the season to become the new national team coach of Brazil. The 65-year-old Italian will officially take charge of Brazil on the 26th of May following the conclusion of the La Liga season. He leaves the Santiago Bernabeu as one of the club's most successful managers. Ancelotti won 15 trophies across 2 spells as Real manager, and last season he led the Los Blancos to a Champions League and La Liga double. Meanwhile, reports say that Xabi Alonso, who confirmed that he will leave Bayer Leverkusen at the end of the season, will take over as Real Madrid boss ahead of the Club World Cup, which kicks off on the 15th of June. Now to the NBA playoffs, where Anthony Edwards scored 30 points while Julius Randle had 31 as the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Golden State Warriors 117-110 on Monday night to take a 3-1 lead in their Western Conference playoff series. In the Eastern Conference semi-finals, the New York Knicks are 1 win away from reaching the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. Jalen Brunson had 39 points and 12 assists as the Knicks pushed the defending champions, the Boston Celtics, to the brink of elimination with a 121-113 victory on Monday night in Game 4. 2 other stories, and the Dallas Mavericks have won the NBA draft lottery and the accompanying right to select Duke's Cooper Flag in June with the number 1 pick. The Mavericks had just a 1.8% chance to win the lottery and jump 10 spots to grab the top pick, the biggest move by any team in lottery history. And that's the latest in the world of sports. For more on all these stories, visit citysportsonline.com. Kickoff is powered by Shell, Shell Go Well, Polisangana, Zonda GH, and Leshehu. Let's Improve Live. I am Edwin Kwakufi. The City Breakfast Show with Bernard Avlek continues.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number 1. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama.
some classy celebrations that calls for whipping out your favorite China sets. Same goes for your luxury vehicle. Just any engine oil won't do. Premium understands premium best. The new Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP is the one for your premium car. It's a fully synthetic motor oil designed using the Shell Pure Plus technology. Prevents dirt buildup with exceptional cleaning power, leaving your pistons cleaner than a whistle, up to 50% more than the industry standard, and gives you stronger, long-lasting engine performance. So, if you want your classic car to run smoothly like a Ferrari for years to come, use the Shell Helix Ultra SP 020, made for premium. Shell Helix Ultra 0W20 SP, designed for ultimate engine performance.
Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more Super. And the Polytank, we did Polytank. Papa no no, Papa no no no, Papa no no no, Papa no no, Alcasa. Polytank, the original, always the best.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302-246319 or 0302-246644. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
Did you know that worms take away nutrients from the food you eat? Just listen to them.
Brothers, yesterday the food nice, huh?
Oh yeah, the choba woman there, she did try wa.
Charlie, something come on. Eat the food.
It did taste like banana.
Hey, make a taste some. Make me try a taste, make a taste. Hey, something is doing me.
Something is doing me too.
Oh, it be Vermox.
Vermox banana flavored dewormer is available in both suspension and tablet and is suitable for children and adults. It's good for you, bad for worms. Not recommended for children under 2 years and pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Let me do my thing.
Girls, leave me and let me do my thing. I'm tired of everyone chasing the same old. Awesome intelligence is the new magic. Get your Samsung Galaxy A56, A36, or A26 5G. eSIM included. This trip, school go big. As I pull out my awesome intelligence, pictures, videos, slow-mo, filters will be awesome. That's the new Galaxy experience. So let me do my thing. Let me be different, unique, and most of all, awesome with my new Samsung A series. Grab your new awesome Galaxy A56, A36, or A26 5G. Level up your game with the new awesome.
Price starting at 4,199 cedis. Terms and conditions apply.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel 1 TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery? This is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank and Legacy Crop Improvement Center.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
The Money Matters segment is brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
Welcome to the Money Matters segment with Petra. Most people think about money only when there's a money problem. But true financial wisdom lies in planning before life happens. Whether it's a wedding, a new child, a building project, or preparing for retirement, a financial advisor helps you navigate both the expected and the unexpected with clarity and confidence. At Petra, these conversations are thoughtful, personalized, and complementary. Whether you are building, preserving, or growing wealth, we're here to help you plan ahead with ease and intention. Dial star 447 star 70 hash to speak to a financial advisor today. Petra, achieve more.
The Money Matters segment was brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel 1 TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery? This is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank and Legacy Crop Improvement Center.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
I know a place. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried. Ain't no smiling faces. No, no, lying to the races. Help me. Come on, come on. Somebody help me now. I'll take you there. Help me all. I'll take you there. Help me now. I'll take you there. Oh,
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
$7:36 on the City Breakfast Show. And today is the 13th day of May. Happy birthday to our good friend Mauli Chikata. Pastor Mauli Chikata, being one of our radio pastors and a great friend of ours, celebrating his birthday today. And of course, this is from all of us here at Citi, from your church members.
Grace Center.
The Grace Center.
Yes.
And all your numerous supporters and friends, people who you have touched and helped. Happy birthday to you, my brother. I also want to I tell you, special anointing.
Anointing allergy.
I tell you.
Also, no, you are a big man. No, you are a good man.
I tell you.
May God continue to lead you in His own direction.
I tell you.
So you can continue to lead others and impact our world.
Wonderful.
You're a big man.
Too much. Now, I want to also wish, this is from a friend, Mawunya Jemfikumaga, wishing her husband, Papebi, Mikunu Papebi.
Yes.
Michael Jemfi of APSA, Premier Banking, a happy birthday. May God continue to bless you in every way and grant you favor. Coming in from your lovely wife, Mawunya Jemfikumaga. Now, I have so many things I want to touch on today. This morning on the City Breakfast Show. But happy birthday to my mother, Virgin Mary Adade of the Nazareth Methodist Church, Mamprobi Circuit, Accra. You celebrate your birthday today, 13th May, and your children wish you a happy birthday. This is also coming from your in-laws. May the good Lord grant you good health and lots of blessings as the days go by. From your son Kofi Atakakra Kusi, Deputy Director Corporate Affairs, Ghana Tourism Authority, to Virgin Mary Adade. And this is maybe Staples or the Staples Singers. I'll take you there. Happy birthday to Paul Ahe of the Ghana Revenue Authority, an avid listener of the City Breakfast Show. Quick announcement. Urban Roads is announcing that on the 17th and 18th of May, there will be a temporary closure of the main road in front of Legon Presec because of the works around the construction of a footbridge. That footbridge is long overdue. And so just a special mention of that announcement that I saw in the Ghanaian Times, that between some hours of the day on the 17th and 18th of the month of May, there will be, and I know Caleb, you're interested in this because that enclave hosts Presec, UPSA, University of Ghana Business School, and then some hostels. So the Department of Urban Roads, acting to the the ministry acting to the department is announcing to the general public of the temporary interruption of traffic flow to enable the launching of the bow of the pedestrian footbridge by the contractor, which is MS Johnson Bridge International, at Presec Legon section of the N4 Tetekwasi Ebri Road. This is on Saturday 17th May and up to Sunday 18th May, starting from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. So this is night matter. 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. So there will be a partial closure of the crane positioning and bow bridge lifting on one half of the carriageway. Motorists and other road users wishing to use the Presec Legon stretch of the N4 are kindly requested to observe the traffic management signs placed on the road for guidance. Additionally, the police MTTD will be advantage points to guide all motorists. I just want to thank Engineer Mo Godfrey for putting this out. This is very important indeed. Also, the other one I got on the roads, Caleb, you know I do a quick road watch every morning. This is from Patrick, a listener of mine. He said, Bernard, good morning. I pray you could do this for me and other citizens and taxpayers living at Adenta on the Intri Street, which stretches from Justrin to the Catholic Church, about 150 meters beyond the church. The road takes volumes of traffic off the Dodowa Madina Road onto the Adenta Aviation Road and distributes same over Ogbojo and Maijo Road. Bernard, the road has deteriorated beyond a state of disrepair, exposing commuters to danger. You put your children at the back of your car to school and you feel pity for them because of how the car shakes or bumps. Even Okada riders find it difficult to navigate their way on this stretch. Just about 1 kilometer or less of road now takes more than 10 minutes to drive on. Ramadan's office is just about 350 meters from this stretch. The ADMA is about 1,000 meters away or 1 kilometer away. We are, through your medium, pleading with the powers that be to have mercy on our children to come and fix the road for us. We don't need an MC before this can be done. Drip or whatever it is called can be used to assist us. The MC and the MP both turned a blind eye to our plight, and we think this must not continue. Cars drive through potholes but not gullies. Our kids are banging their heads to our car doors and seats. Please, please, please help talk to somebody. I'm very grateful. I know this road. So it's a church enclave. On that road there's a Catholic church, there's a Baptist church, there's an Assemblies of God church, all on that stretch. And he's right, it distributes traffic from the Adenta Dodowa Madina Road through to different parts of that city, and it's become a very, very bad road indeed. So those are two public sector announcements for the public. There's another one that somebody sent this morning. He says, Bernard, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I see cows chewing grass in the overgrown median in front of the president's house. So I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I don't know what to do. Yeah.
No, the Jubilee House?
No, the president's house is Shane Holmes. Cool. And he sent a message. This listener sends a message and says that he has seen what do you call a group of a herd of cattle?
Yes. Grazing
freely in front of the president's house. And he says he doesn't know whether to laugh or cry because the grass is overgrown.
Yeah.
All right, now there are a couple of birthdays I will do, and then we'll run two main issues this morning. I just need to say that last week we raised the issue of street children and the begging. We have not left that story as a touch and go. We called the Ministry of Gender, and the ministry said to us that for some reason that specific matter was being dealt with by the Interior Ministry and the National Security, and so we would have to liaise with those two ministries to get a proper update on what was happening with particularly Nigerian street beggars. So my promise is that we'll get back to that story before the week ends. We are told the Ministry of Interior and National Security are involved in that matter, and so the details are not sat just with the Ministry of Gender, which is why we haven't come back to you on this. Now, I want to just do another final birthday request before I will give Richard Sky 5 minutes to explain why he thinks that the growing dependence on laptops and digital devices for education does not necessarily bode well for educational system. I need him to explain it because I think the world is moved there already. So I'll give him a few minutes to explain that point. My main issue this morning is from the complaint by car dealers over the high cost of vehicles.
Yeah.
And I think we need to have a national discussion about that, particularly because as I speak to you, the Ghana Automotive Summit 2025 will happen this evening. And they are saying that assembling and manufacturing is the future of the automotive industry.
Right.
So while some people are assembling cars and asking that we use tariffs to ensure that the vehicle assembly plants do well, we've already seen companies like Toyota build centers at the University of Ghana. They have one on the motorway. So the point about vehicle assembly is getting bigger. Yet car importers are crying foul, and they are asking the president to remove tariffs on salvage vehicles, which is one of the things he hasn't done yet. So I think we need to have a discussion. Do we want cheaper imported cars so we can have Uber and taxi, or do we want to create jobs by assembling cars in Ghana? We have to make that decision as a country. And I'm going to create a small debate on that this morning. But let me do a final birthday request. And then I'll hear Richard Sky on this is complaint that people are doing classes on laptop and they are sleeping and they are not working and all those things. I don't know. He says he has evidence to prove that it's actually a serious issue. So before that, happy birthday to Juliet Obeng of Stanbic Bank ED Spintex. You are cherished and may the Lord attend to you always. Have a great day. This is from the ED team. Not sure what ED means, but I'm sure those who know. So ED team is wishing Juliet Obing of Stanbic Bank ED a happy birthday. Caleb, give me 2 quick announcements.
Yes, please. And we understand the unique journey of women in business, from juggling multiple responsibilities to navigating financial complexities, societal expectations, etc., etc. Listen, your resilience and vision inspire us. That's why we've created the She Business account tailored to empower visionary women leaders like you, with collateral-free loans of up to 2 million Ghana cedis, insurance coverage, discounted loan interest rates, and capacity building programs. The She Business account is the banking solution for you. So visit the nearest ABSA branch or call 0302-429150 for more information. Your story matters, ABSA. And create unforgettable memories. Transform your living room and bedroom into a sanctuary with our stunning selection of sofas, couches, dressers, dining sets, center tables, and a wide range of beds and mattresses and other home soft furnishings. This season, shop and save up to 30% discount and discover the perfect blend of style, comfort, and affordability at Ashfom's exclusive furniture promotion. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Take advantage of our mega discount up to 30% on selected items. Call these numbers: 0243 200 729, 0244 642 481. Visit any of our showrooms in all the big malls and depots in Medina, Taxi Rank, Agbogba, Vineyard, Tema Casino, and all Ashform shops across the country. Terms and conditions apply. Please be mindful of internet fraudsters. Be an Ashformer now. Ashform, feel it, know it. And listen, let's get real. You don't need a fancy title to be a boss. You need a dream, a purpose, and a mindset to lead. Join Absa Bank Ghana's free ready-to-work webinar titled Unlock the Boss in You on Thursday, 15th May 2025, streaming live at 11 a.m. on Absa Ghana's Facebook and YouTube channels. This session is designed to help you recognize your full potential and develop the mindset of an entrepreneur. So expect insights and inspiration from seasoned young entrepreneurs to help you start and grow the business of your dreams. No suits required, just a bold vision and the courage to begin. So see you there. Absa, ready to work. Your story matters. And let's talk about higher education. If you're ready to drive innovation and take the next step in your career, apply for Ashesi University's master's program, which combines world-class education with African relevance. So regardless of your career aspirations, an Ashesi master's program equips you with the skills, ethics, and network to lead boldly. So applications are open for our 2025 cohorts. Learn more at AS hesi.edu.gh, ashesi.edu.gh. Now, if you're looking for a smarter, faster, and more secure way to manage your finances, please look no further. With the award-winning FAB, mobile and internet banking solutions, banking is now easier, faster, and more convenient than you think. Join the Purple Bank today and feel the Purple experience, where convenience meets innovation. It's easy, safe, and secure. First Atlantic Bank, 2-time Digital Bank of the Year in a row. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
You know, every time there's bad news about ECG and that type of thing, we make a lot of noise about it. But Sky, today you read a story in the Ghanaian Times that overbilled ECG customers had been reimbursed.
Yeah.
And then also ECG said they are boosting power supply in the Volta region.
Yes.
But the stories were hidden on page 14. So I think it's only fair.
Yes,
it's only
yes,
fair.
yes.
So let me just read those two stories and then I'll give you the chance to talk about your issue. Now, ECG consumers in the Bono region who were overbilled by the NEDCO to the tune of 16,262 cedis in the first quarter of this year have been reimbursed. This follows complaints made by the affected consumers to the PURC after investigations were conducted by NEDCO. Now, a total of 263 complaints were received by PURC, while 257 were resolved for the same period. Now, I have a question for you. Do you know PURC's number? And does anybody know PURC's phone number?
You can Google it.
No, it means PURC, you have a lot of work to do. This came to light during the first quarter performance review meeting organized by PURC at Sunyai in the Bono region. And I'm sure Pia Adomaku very happy about this. He's been advocating for this. The meeting was to enable the utility providers such as NEDCO and Ghana Water Company to brief the PURC on their activities. The Bono Regional Manager of PURC, Patrick Entry, urged the utilities providers to do more community engagement with their consumers on their operations so as to enable them appreciate the issues pertaining to the area. The Sunyai area engineer of NEDCO, Eric Offer, said his outfit was experiencing some challenges since January. According to him, that in February, 2 grid-co transformers, blah, 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 blah. I don't have time for all this. And basically talking about reimbursing consumers who were overbilled. So that's a good one. Another good one. Management of Volta Region branch of ECG, in collaboration with Gridco, has initiated measures to improve power provision to residents in the southern part of the Volta region to ensure uninterrupted power provision. This includes your hometown. The measures include boosting the 50 megawatt capacity of transmitter at Sogakope in South Town with a new transmitter with capacity of 10 megawatts to ensure that the issue of frequent light out becomes a thing of the past. Briefing journalists on the development here at the weekend, Volta Regional Director of ECG, Miss Christina Jatokaleo, wow, that's a powerful name, explained that the additional transformer would help improve electricity provision in South Town, Akachi South, Central Town, and Keta municipality. She said her outfit was not only committed to addressing the electricity needs of residents in the region, but also build the confidence of the people in the ECG. She assured the people of the Volta region of quality and regular service provision that would be appreciated by all, and called on stakeholders to cooperate with management in its efforts to provide residents with the power to meet their daily needs. The Volta regional engineer of ECG, Mr. Godfrey Oku, said the company was involved in innovative activities to meet the growing demand for electricity. I'm bringing these stories up because it's also important to balance the issues, because I also feel sometimes we give ECG a bad name because we have an agenda for it. So we bash ECG and we bash them into selling. You know. So okay, now Sky, it's 7:54. Why are you saying that having lectures online is a problem?
Exclusively.
So I should be understood to be saying that what we are doing in Ghana, we are doing it the wrong way. Because before you take a decision to provide studies online, there are specific requirements that will help facilitate teaching and learning. Some of those things include a proper strategy by the school that is offering the teaching, right? The lecturers understanding exactly what online teaching is about and how to deliver it in order to deliver quality. The framework for assessing students also recognizes that, and it's also part of the strategy to make sure that the right quality is delivered. The right tools being available to the school, the platform to be able to deliver that service, and then also the students themselves. The tools that are needed to go online. You cannot go online in a vacuum.
Okay.
The tools must be there. the infrastructure beyond the tools, having the tools, the infrastructure that will make that possible. So, for instance, data. Do you have reliable data connection? And are you within a particular space that allows you to pay attention? Where you are not within that space, is it possible to go back and retrieve the material and internalize it? Bernard, it is my respectful submission that while these things are available elsewhere, and the evidence will point to the fact that, well, it is great to have online teaching and learning and to deliver the best possible results. What we are doing in Ghana largely is a problem, and it is undermining the quality of teaching and learning that we are offering. Let me explain why. So recently, I went for a session to do a session in Tema. Then I went to buy cocoa. In the course of buying the cocoa, I noticed that there was a young lady who had an earpiece.
You are blowing somebody's cover because cocoa and Tema, they have a base there.
I know, right?
You are blowing somebody's cover.
She had an earpiece, so she was selling to us, getting the instructions, selling, and then also paying attention to what was happening.
It was multitasking.
Exactly. Now, in the process, she made a mistake as to what exactly some of the customers were ordering, who was ordering what, and what was supposed to be put inside.
Whether
So, for
they
instance,
wanted
my
milk,
cocoa,
sugar.
you don't have to put sugar inside. And then she ended up putting sugar in my cocoa.
Because she was listening to lectures.
Exactly. And then also not required to put milk in there. But at the milkman. Now, and if you look at the phone that she was using for the purposes of attending the lectures, you realize that if you want to engage properly in online teaching and learning, you don't use your handheld phone, which has so many cracks over it. The earpiece, which is not functioning properly, and you are on it. And she said she's doing economics
on a mobile phone.
Bernard,
while engaging in an economic activity.
Yeah, but practicals and
practicals. Bernard, you have to first of all understand the concepts that are being taught by the lecturer, right? And I engage her thereafter. That, so how are you able to do this? She tells me that, well, they do 1 full week online, and sometimes they do the face-to-face teaching, right? And she confirms that indeed it is difficult to actually appreciate what the lecturer is teaching, especially when you are dealing with graphs, you understand, and you are dealing with calculations, formula that you have to use to actually calculate and come to a particular conclusion. Now, elsewhere, there's a requirement that you need, for instance, a properly functional laptop, which will properly display the graphs that you want to actually teach the students. The teacher also has a deep understanding of how to deliver the course online in a way as to help the student to properly internalize what is being taught.
Okay.
And then also data availability makes it possible for the student to link up properly with the teacher, so that the teacher is not teaching in vacuum. Nobody's listening because the student cannot afford data. And then also there is a certain awareness that you need to be within a certain confinement to be able to pay attention to what the teacher is teaching. So, for instance, the students were telling me that in many cases, you have some of the colleagues either sitting in a trotro or at a market somewhere, and then for some reason they do not understand online teaching and learning. So some will leave their microphones on. So for a whole 5 minutes or so, exactly, whatever the teacher is teaching is not getting to the students because for some reason someone has left the microphone on, and the transaction that she or he is doing in the market or in a trotro is disrupting lectures. And because the teacher himself lacks the awareness necessary to actually know that, oh, there's somebody interfering with the teaching, then he also goes on reading the slides to the students, trying to explain a concept without actually making sure, with the greatest respect, that the students internalize.
So
what
for
is
you, this is a question of quality. You don't think that students are getting value?
Not at all.
They are not following the courses. I have a different angle to this. I think that there's also a concern about increased use of screen time among our kids. There's a story that was written Was it in the Ghanaian Times or the Daily Graphic?
This is Daily Graphic
If you
on
can
May 7,
give me the highlights of that.
2025. So time for national discourse on screen addiction impact on children.
Okay.
A development pediatrician, Dr. Yvonne Brew, has called for a national conversation on screen addiction to create awareness and educate the general public on its devastating impact on children. She said the situation was steadily becoming a silent epidemic which needed to be addressed to curb it from becoming a crisis. She said what started as parents providing electronic gadgets such as mobile phones and tablets for their children as a way of occupying them so the parents could have some peace and convenience is turning out to be a monster in children's development. Quote, we are losing our children not to war, not to hunger, but to screens, and we are doing it with our own hands. There is no longer a parenting issue. This is no longer a parenting issue. This is an emergency, she stated. Now, as part of the efforts, Dr. Brew is currently organizing training sessions for medical doctors and nurses to expose them to the reality of screen addictions among children. Screen addiction. Now, children's early exposure to electronic and digital screens distorts their development in speech and other behavioral actions. Experts have warned that too much exposure to screens for children under 5 years has dire consequences such as loss of speech, restlessness, eye contact avoidance, speaking with a foreign accent, and behavioral issues. Cases rising. Dr. Mrs. Brew, a pediatrician with the Greater Accra Regional Hospital in Rage, was speaking in an interview with Daily Graphic on screen addiction among children in the country. She said to diagnose what the issues were, doctors realized that all of such children were spending a lot of time with their phone or tablet. Quote, apart from speaking with a foreign accent, another striking thing is that such children cannot sit down in one place. Also, they are always very anxious. Further probes showed such children have been spending between 6 to 10 hours on the screen, she reviewed. A development pediatrician said the data available at her department indicated that there were over 200 children currently undergoing rehabilitation, revealing that the impact was more severe in children below 3 years, but the good news was that it was easier to treat at that level, and therefore Dr. Mrs. Brew advised parents to report to hospital with their children early if they found any unusual behavior as mentioned. Now there's need for policy. The development pediatrician appealed to the government for a policy on the screen use of children in preschools and preschool age. Quote, we want a policy that would help parents to know that they should not let their children watch cartoons either on television, phones or tablets, but rather the children should learn to play outside. Quote, we would want all children below 3 years not to have access to screen time at all, and that preschools should not use the screens to teach children. Additionally, she appealed to preschools and Sunday schools to stop using televisions and other screens as learning materials. She quoted the World Health Organization saying that children below 2 should not have access to the screen at all, and those who are 3 to 5 should have access to the screen for a maximum duration of an hour a day. So it goes on and on, but that's the crux of the matter.
More on this coming up shortly. It's 3 minutes past 8. Tech and social media trends is next. How do we deal with so there are two angles to this. Sky says the quality of the education, particularly at tertiary level where you predominantly just do digital online classes, it's not fair. And to be fair, there's a texter from Adabaka who agrees with Sky. He says the concern by Sky relation to online model of teaching and students in universities is a big problem. My wife, who was undertaking a program in one of the universities, had a physical contact with the lecturers less than 10 times in 4 years, majoring in economics and psychology. The painful thing is that she paid her fees in full and had to pay extra for the data she used for the years. This lazy and insensitive means should be looked at. So that's the point being raised, that contact time is reduced. People are just online and it's not immersive enough. But then there's also a concern about younger kids and screen time. So there are two. Of course, there's also a bridge there. There's all this conversation about EdTech, where we even have a show called EdTech Monday. People are like, oh, we need to make sure that children have access to technology to aid learning. But there are concerns that this move towards EdTech could also be counterproductive, because then the way the social skills of the kids will be affected. In fact, somebody sent me research this morning suggesting that the level of suicide among teenagers in the UK was traceable by some research to exposure to screens. So let me just read that story for you before Kusu comes in with tech and social media trends. So here's the story. What does the research tell about phones and students' mental health and well-being? It says between 2010 and 2015, suicide rates among 10 to 14-year-old girls and boys increased by 167 and 92% respectively. Self-harm rates for teenage girls in the UK soared by 78%. Anxiety diagnosis for those aged 18 to 25 jumped by 92%. 40% of teenage girls who spend over 5 hours on social media a day have been diagnosed with clinical depression. And then it goes on to then warn about the way exposure to screens affects younger people. All right, so let's bring you tech and social media trends.
It's brought to us by Telecel and First Bank Ghana, and the all-new First mobile app from First Bank Ghana is here. You get to experience the convenience of banking from your palm. There are several features. You buy data or airtime. You do account to Momo transfers, interbank, intra-bank transfers, account opening, bill payment to Netflix, iTunes, fingerprint and Face ID authentication for logging in purposes. You can schedule payments, biometric authentication for transactions, generate auto receipts for past transactions, and so much more. So just visit the Apple Store or Play Store, download the First mobile app, bank with ease like never before. Call 0596 921 921 for more. You can visit any of our branches nationwide. First Bank, you first.
All right, so funny, we're talking tech and its effect, and you are here with tech and social media trends.
Yeah, I'll dedicate this tech and social media trends today to your brother, my brother, our brother, Mali Chikata.
Yes, wonderful. The tech guru.
Yes, a happy birthday to him, of course.
Yes. A lot of people don't know that Mali is a tech guru. They only see him as a pastor.
Man of many talents.
I tell you.
So, of course, Sami Jenfi and Madame Agrada are still in their trends.
They have hugged the trends since Sunday.
It's still raging on. I just had to acknowledge it's in their trends. We won't talk too much
3
about
days
it.
of trending.
We won't talk too much about it. We have to acknowledge it because it's there. But I'll do a little bit of sports. So the under-20 AFCON, Ghana went out on penalties to Egypt yesterday. It was a spirited fight, but our penalty woes continue. We have, as a country, we seem to have very bad luck with penalties, so it's come to haunt us again. And
was it not in Brazil that we won on penalties and defeated Brazil?
No, it's Egypt.
We beat Brazil.
2009.
Yeah,
that's one of the
penalty that got us.
That's one of the few penalty shootouts. And if you look at the history, there's 2 against Ivory Coast in the 2 AFCON finals against Ivory Coast. We've lost on penalties. Of course, the Uruguay penalties. There's been a few penalty shootouts.
Penalty heartache.
Yeah, the penalty heartache is very common. So, congratulations to the boys. They put up a sterling fight. They went 2 goals down. They fought back. Went all the way through extra time. There was even a red card. They still held on, got to penalties, but they just couldn't finish the job. So which means we will also not be playing at the under-20 World Cup, which is a difficult one to take, but we are still proud of them.
It's just like the Brazil story. The Brazil, I think somebody got a red card in our game against Brazil, right? And then we played 10 against 11.
2009, he was still a toddler.
No, it's a long time. Allow me.
He said he's now an old man.
Get into the details.
A little bit of NBA right now. So the NBA draft lottery has been done, and the number 1 pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. And if you remember, the Dallas Mavericks a few months ago traded their star player Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers, and now they've got the number 1 draft pick. So it's looking like Nico Harris.
I thought the draft is based on teams and their weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Dallas Mavericks are not that good. But you see, what they've done with the draft lottery now is they made it harder for the bad teams to get the number 1 pick, to encourage teams to try harder.
Okay.
So and people are not happy because the Dallas Mavericks they're an okay team. They had some injury problems. They're not a team that really needs a number 1 pick. So people have been accusing the league of being rigged, because it's almost like you make this trade for your star player to the most popular team in the league,
and then
you sacrifice it, and then they give you the number 1 draft pick. So it's almost like you've traded him for the number 1 draft pick. So a lot of NBA fans are claiming the league is rigged, that this is a scam and is a setup, and other teams are being shafted. So very controversial one, but we are expecting Cooper Flag. He's the number 1 prospect coming out of college right now to be drafted by the Dallas Mavericks in the draft. And the draft is usually sometime in June.
How are the playoffs going, by the way?
Oh, yeah, the Celtics just went 3-1 down to the New York Knicks, the defending champions. And their star player, Jason Tatum, has suffered a serious injury and had to go off. He was in a wheelchair, actually.
Oh, Lord.
So it's not looking very good for the defending
the
champions.
New Englanders.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them. I think the Pacers are also up 3-1. Minnesota also up 3-1. And I believe the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to play their game 5 tonight. And that's 2-2. So very interesting playoffs. But it's looking like a lot of the unfancy teams which you wouldn't expect, have 3-1 leads at this point. Meaning that a lot of teams have to win 3 games in a row, which is very difficult.
So we'll see some new teams.
We'll see some new teams,
at
yes.
that level. All right, what else do you have?
Of course, Anas and Kenny Japan in the trends.
Trending,
Yeah.
All right.
So Anas has gone from one of the happiest men in Ghana to some probably not as happy, because his reward or his punitive damages have been slashed from $18 million to $500.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure Sky can maybe look at the judgment a bit later and help us with some of the legal considerations that went to slashing of the judgment and the award. But the court has decided that $18 million is too much for the defamation suit, and $500 is a more appropriate reward. So that's what's in the trend. So a lot of people are even saying that Agrada can pay for the
straight bullet. Can it be?
They say Agrada can pay for Kennedy.
But I think the principle is more to do with a determination by a court of competent jurisdiction that
it's not the amount. And I think Niade said that yesterday, that the conclusion is clear. The amount is just a question of whether you deserve the money. But the fact that you've defended the person has been established. So
support some sort of to compensate for the harm you have.
But the 80,500,000.
That is a huge difference. Maybe like the judge, he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like 80 million for where?
Your life has changed. Your life has not changed. 500. Who even covered the ticket that you
imagine
took
if somebody has started borrowing money on the base of the 80 million coming. By the way, where's Obrafo's suit against some guy for stealing his song?
Yeah, I think that
we should follow up.
Yes, we need to follow up on that. Yeah. I mean, I was filed in the US or in the UK. One of the
Kill the cat. I think
yes.
some line.
All right, let's move on.
And then, so I'll go to a little bit of tech news. So Apple are thinking about increasing the price of their iPhones. They are looking at all this tariff uncertainty and that kind of stuff. And they're thinking that they might have to increase the price of their iPhone so they can absorb any shocks that may come in the future. So that's just something to watch out for those of us who use iPhones. Some of us, we've divested, so we don't have to worry about this problem.
That was the segment Tech and Social Media Trends with Susu Graham.
Since 1894, we've witnessed the evolution of a brand and proudly partnered with its people on the path to prosperity. From the ink-stained ledgers of the past to the lightning-fast transactions of today, First Bank has consistently adapted, embracing innovation while cherishing the legacy of our heritage and making giant strides across the globe. It's not just about banking, it's about enabling your success generation after generation. Our legacy defined the past, shaped the present, and in 2094, we will still be fostering financial security and stability for future generations. We are helping to create a future where the possibilities are infinite, the opportunities borderless, and where the world looks up to Africa. Let's awaken the giant in you. You first. First Bank.
Auntie T, I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no?
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, if you get your own data and call packages, falla! Made For Me bundles like the way you want them. That *530#, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
When the pain is too much, don't know what else to do. So hunam ya wuya, na wunya wunya. Rapping all, Rapinol, Bema Wuyaune Jai.
Rapinol is what you need. Rapinol will relieve you of all aches and pain in your body. Rheumatic pain, menstrual pain, body pain, toothaches, and other feverish conditions. Rapinol is a quality product from Danex Itin Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. Not suitable for children below 16 years old, asthmatic, and also patients. This advert is FDA approved.
Visit West Africa's largest and longest running mining and power exhibition and conference, WAMPEX. It's happening from the 28th to the 30th of May 2025 at the Accra International Conference Center and the Grand Arena. This is your opportunity to engage with over 5,000 participants, including industry professionals from across the region. Don't miss out. Register now and be part of the future of mining and power in West Africa at www.wampexwestafrica.com. Headline sponsors: Metso, Goldfields. Other sponsors: B5 Plus, Newmont, Anglo Gold Ashanti, Zigen, Stanbic Bank, Hexagon, Protea Coin, Mantrack, the Bank Hospital, and Rand Refinery.
Let me do my thing.
Girls, leave me and let me do my thing. I'm tired of everyone chasing the same old. Awesome intelligence is the new magic. Get your Samsung Galaxy A56, A36, or A26 5G. eSIM included. This trip, school go big. As I pull out my awesome intelligence, pictures, videos, slow-mo, filters will be awesome. That's the new Galaxy experience. So let me do my thing. Let me be different, unique, and most of all, awesome with my new Samsung A series. Grab your new awesome Galaxy A56, A36, or A26 5G. Level up your game with the new awesome.
Price starting at 4,199 cedis. Terms and conditions apply.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Some parents do everything in their power to mitigate screen harms at home. But then their children go to school and they experience hours of screen time in the guise of educational technology, or EdTech. Whether that's in the form of iPads and Alexa voice assistants for nursery school children, learning systems like PowerSchool in primary school, or Google Classroom on secondary school devices, who has proven that this deluge of screen education is what's best for our children? No one has. If we step back and view this state of affairs through a compassionate lens, it's fairly understandable. Let's wave aside the fact that only 7% of UK edtech companies have conducted randomized controlled trials, and just 12% have used third-party certification. Let's put these pesky facts aside. At the beginning, these products seemed futuristically exciting. Well-intentioned schools spent fortunes buying and implementing the latest software and trained their teachers in how to use it. And some of the tools, like no more marking, have been helpful for teachers. But now we have better data on how tech is impacting pupils, so we must press pause and, in many cases, rewind. The Karolinska Institute in Sweden recently published research concluding that there's clear scientific evidence that tools impair rather than enhance learning. Sweden has taken note and been the first country to kick tech out of the classroom, reinvesting in books, paper, and pens. They had the courage to admit that EdTech was a failed experiment. Bill Gates himself said that devices have a lousy record in the classroom. Mark Zuckerberg went to a tech-free school in Boston. Steve Jobs didn't let his own children use iPads. UNESCO says moderation should be the key word relating to classroom tech use. The OECD found that most EdTech has not delivered the academic benefits once promised, and that students who use computers very frequently at school do a lot worse in most learning outcomes. Global test scores in maths, science, and reading are plummeting. I've personally spoken to teachers in British state schools who've acknowledged that classroom tech has hampered the progress of many of their pupils, and the huge boom in tutoring among private school children points to the fact that they're not learning well in school either. So why are we getting so overexcited about EdTech here in Britain? Why are we outsourcing executive function skills to a computer? Why are we allowing exam boards to take every subject online by 2030? All the emerging research should generate a pulling up of the drawbridge rather than the open-armed embrace that we're seeing.
So this is an excerpt of a voice clip from a British group, Safe Screen Campaign, who believe that we have to hasten slowly. And you know that the UK have the target they've set for themselves that by 2030 all education will be on the screen. We also do an EdTech program here. But I think like the point you raised today about university education, for me, we should broaden it. And I feel like Dr. Bruce's point in the graphic requires us to pause and think about how we are passing learning on. I do know that for universities like Legon, class sizes are so large that the physical contact does not even really exist. All right, so if you have a political science class of 800 students, if you put them at the M block, you can't even reach them. So I can understand why you can do screen time. But I feel like there needs to be a moderation where you can break the class into smaller groups for study, for maybe tutorials or something, which I'm not sure is happening. From the text you read, somebody said his partner did a 4-year course in economics and psychology, and in 4 years made the lecture only 10 times. That is crazy. And basically spent all the time behind a computer, allegedly learning economics. And that's a problem.
And Bernard,
that's a problem, right?
You see, if you don't have enough classroom space or lecture room space, what do? You cut your coat according to your size, ordinarily, right?
It's actually called cut your coat according to your cloth.
Okay, yeah.
According to your cloth.
Very
Yes,
well.
please.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, what are these major universities, what are they doing? What we are seeing is that many of these universities are opening, outside campuses or allied, they call it allied campuses.
Satellite campuses. Yes.
In which case, instead of actually ensuring contact hours in the sense of lecture student meeting face to face, right, and delivering teaching and learning, they have resorted in many cases to the use of online platforms to deliver teaching and learning. While some other universities, so for instance, the private universities, who ideally would have absorbed some of the excess numbers and to teach them properly, hopefully, so that the students can actually get out with something meaningful. These students are getting recruited by the main universities, and then at the end of the day, they don't go into the classrooms. Majority of the times, they receive certificates that say that you attended university A, B, and C, when in fact, you have not been rigorously trained as a student. For instance, government is talking about setting up a new university somewhere in the Kintampo area, right? They have set up a university in the eastern region responsible for environment. Go and find out how many students are there. The big universities have absorbed these students. There's likes of Central, the likes of Methodist University, to a large extent GIMPA, and many other universities are struggling because everybody now wants this certificate. But the teaching is happening online.
But what is wrong with that?
Bernard, we are not, you see, the kind of rigor you and I had when we had face-to-face teaching.
Yeah.
Professor Bob Watson taught you economics face-to-face, right?
With chalk.
Gawuta Ganama. When he said this is the formula for calculating, what do you call it? Give me some economic term.
In different scales.
In different, you saw it feedy. But in this case, students don't even have data to actually even study.
So you are raising the quality of education problem. I want to develop the screen addiction angle, which Dr. Yvonne Brew, a developmental pediatrician, raised with a graphic, and thankfully she's on the line to provide further context to this. Doc, thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you. I feel guilty because today or yesterday I told my son that his revision for papers, he should do an online class with his teacher. So he was practicing computing with the teacher and they were solving problems online. Now, having read the story, I'm worried whether I'm even doing the right thing. So first of all, I want you to talk about the use of the word a silent epidemic. How serious is the situation of screen time addiction by children, and what age groups are we talking about?
Okay, good morning. So as a developmental pediatrician, I see children from birth to 18. Now, I've been doing this work for a very long time, and we keep very good data of all the children coming in. What we noticed is that from the lockdown period, we started getting a lot of boys coming in, and I'm talking of the age between 2 to, let's say, 8 years, coming in who were not talking. Now, traditionally, when boys are not talking by 2-3 years, we say, oh, send him to school and then he will talk. But when these kids started coming in, I realized that their basic problem was not speech. They just could not integrate with humans. So the first thing that strikes you is that they can't look at you in the face. And they don't want to be among people. So they get very anxious when they come to the consulting room, which is, unusual. You know, pediatricians, we give balloons and things to children, and the children like the balloons. But these kids will actually be afraid of the balloons we give. A 4-year-old running away from the balloon. And so it made us to start asking more questions. And that's when the parents themselves started telling us that, Dr. Blue, I think it's because my child is on screen. And then we started looking back at the other children and asking the parents. And then we noticed that it's actually the screen that is the problem. So my emphasis actually has been on children below 12. But I'm aware that the problem is a lot in the teenage years as well, as now a lot of people are coming up to see me with their children. But my emphasis has been the children, especially below 3 years of age, because we can reverse the effect if we intervene early.
So you're saying the main effect of this screen overexposure to screen time at a very early age is speech impairment and also social awkwardness or just lack of social skills? Can you elaborate on the second point?
So both communication skills and social skills are almost gone in this case. So they don't see themselves as human. So they don't even recognize their parents. They don't have a relationship with their parents. So if the mother can bring the child and leave the room, and the child will just be there, will not even notice that the mother is gone. And they are in a world of their own. They are always on their own, maybe jumping around or playing on their own. They won't play with other children, and then they don't interact. And one of the main things they do for some of them is that they recite rhymes and alphabets on like a broken record. They'll just be going, the bars on the wheels on the bus go round and round, and they'll just sing it over and over and over again. You see, and then they're just A, B, C, D. They will just be reciting them. Without context, without any, they are just talking. And it doesn't, those are some of the...
So, but how did you, and again, you are a developmental pediatrician, so I can't challenge you, but I just want to know how you arrived at the conclusion that it was the exposure to the screen time and not other things, because we do know that kids at some ages also have certain impairments. So we have what they call cognitive autism and all these things. So how did you arrive at the conclusion that it was the exposure to the screen time at that early age that led to these outcomes?
Yes. So actually, we all thought it was autism, but when I took time to go through how we diagnose autism, the symptoms of autism, these kids do not have all of that. Very clearly do not still fulfill the criteria for autism. And I've seen some who have been told they have autism, but when we come and we go by the DSM-5, they don't meet their criteria. So it is talking with parents, because I meet these children regularly, very, very regularly, every 2 weeks, so we understand exactly what is wrong with the child. After spending hours and hours with the children and the parents, we notice that a particular cartoon is the culprit for all these children. So because the cartoon is very nice and it's full of songs, the parents leave the TV on the whole day. So apparently, as the TV is on, the child's ears are only glued to that particular frequency. So if they come to clinic and if you are talking to them, how are you, and they are not minding you, just start singing one of the songs of the cartoon, and the child will immediately come to you and start looking at your eyes and your face. Automatic. So it is.
Please, what is the name of this cartoon?
No, for ethical reasons, I can't. But I'm sure if you ask the parents now to tell you which cartoon it is, they will all respond. They will all tell you right away which cartoon they think is the cause of their children's problem. At the moment, we've seen so many children, so many parents, and the parents are ready to share their story and to warn other parents and to tell them what they are doing to get their kids back.
So at what age can this be salvaged? You said that a lot of these kids are maybe 0 to 12, right? At what age? Okay, so let me rephrase the question. Is this salvageable? I.e., is there something you can do to stop the addiction and also then to reverse the effect of the addiction?
Yes, when the children are really young, yes, because the brain is still developing, and we have a lot of parents whose children have been able to reverse, but it's how early you start the therapy. So we have therapies to help, but the main thing is that parents will need to take the initiative. The first thing is remove, even if you don't think it's the screen, remove the screen as a challenge. Remove the screen completely from the child, from your home. Move the tablet, the phone, the TV, put it off. And start talking to your child like a human being. Now, when we start teaching parents to talk to their children, we realize that many of these parents have never spoken to their children. So when we sit the child opposite the parent and say, talk to your child, all the mother is doing is give me 5, high five, high five. I'm not kidding you. The parents don't even know how to talk to their kids. And it's a problem because since birth, the child has just been on the screen. So what we do is to humanize the children. And that's the word I want all of us to put in mind. We need to humanize our children. Our children are not computers. They are human beings. And human beings need humans to behave like humans. Now, if you have a baby and you leave the baby with a monkey, the baby will begin to behave like a monkey because the children will pick up what they are used to. So if children live among humans and humans relate with them, they will begin to behave like humans. And that is where we start our therapy for, humanizing these children so that they will know that they are human beings and they must live among them. This is how human beings interact with each other.
Now I'm getting worried because a lot of listeners have mentioned the name of a certain cartoon, and that cartoon plays on my TV very regularly. So I don't know whether to just declare a ban on that. But on another note, the other problem I have is that as kids get to grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, the teachers do classes with them. So I was mentioning, for example, one of my boys is doing computing exam, and therefore the teachers do Zoom classes with them. All right, these are A11 and that kind of thing. How can we balance that? Because whilst we are trying to manage the situation at home based on what we are learning, some schools may also think that it's more effective to prepare the students when they are home with these Zoom classes. Is there a way in which we can manage that so it does not reverse progress we make at home?
Okay, so I must tell you that the good news is that many schools are removing the screens from their classrooms. Schools are taking off Google Classroom, and you can check around and see, because they are realizing it's not effective. Human beings need to learn from humans, and the screen should only be a support, not the main source of learning. So schools are taking the screens out of their classrooms now as we are talking, and many primary schools are stopping using the Google Classroom and all as a routine way of teaching. It may be an add-on, but it is not the main in any good school. So you can ask around. The good schools are moving away from using the screen as the main way to teach. We need our children to interact with human beings, to learn how to socialize, and to learn how to fight fairly. How would you learn to fight if you don't meet human beings and know how people react? And, we need that so that we can grow and children can grow, in a society where they interact with other human beings. If not, in a few years, we'll have the challenge that is happening in some other countries where children cannot tolerate the noise around them and they're picking guns and killing anybody who makes noise around them. You see, children need to have a normal life. Parents, take your children to the market. That has been our number one way of therapy. Take your children to market. Let your child walk around and feel how the Ghanaian vibe. Take your children to the festival. to the Citi FM. I forgot the name of
back to your village food festival.
Yes, take your children to these activities. These are the activities we promote in clinic. And our parents are taking their children back to their hometowns, to their villages to interact with other children. People are going back to Lima, to the Zongos to live there because they want their children to interact with humans. And the result is amazing. The kids are recovering.
So when the children want to go out and play football across the street, allow them to go. Let them learn how to fight. Don't put them in the house letting them watch television.
No, they are not chickens.
And playing video games.
They are human beings. Let them go out and play. Buy football. Go to the catalog. Buy football. Let your kids play football outside. Buy bicycles. This is what will save our children.
Dr. Brew, thank you. You said that some of the parents are prepared to share. So if you speak to some of them and they want to engage us, we'll be happy to talk to them later, not today, because I believe this is something we should advocate in a more systematic way for. So I want to thank you for speaking to us on short notice. And thank you. By the way, you can't advertise, but you do consult, so people can find you, right? So if people want to... Where are you?
No, I'm at a government hospital. I'm at Rich Hospital. So you can always bring your child in. So, having said that, I think I've been trying to chase you for more than a year.
You've been chasing me?
Yes, I've been sending you WhatsApp.
But I know Reverend Brew. He's never told me you are looking for me.
No, I sent you a WhatsApp. So just look at your WhatsApp. You will see me there. So we have training for healthcare workers.
Okay.
Training healthcare workers how to pick these children up before it becomes a problem. We train healthcare workers how to screen children from birth all the way to 5 years, because it's better you train the mother before the child gets addicted. And so our training program is coming on as usual, and we would want healthcare workers to register and come for the training. It's in a government facility, so it's not
where can they register?
At Rich Hospital. If you come to the Pediatric Neurodevelopmental Clinic, or you call anywhere at Rich that would like to register for the training program, you'll be registered. And the training is very important. We are doing it by the end of
Can you
June.
Train parents too, so that we can come for training?
Yeah, so I can't do everything. I've been trying to get other organizations to also get involved in training parents, training teachers, because preschool teachers need to pick these children up early. They shouldn't tell the parents that your child can talk. Children won't talk if they are not talking. We need to deal with the issue early. So I'm trying to get other NGOs and groups involved, including the early childhood childhood unit in the Ghana Health Service and other social welfare, and also coming, because it's a national issue.
Now that you found me, I will put you on other platforms. Thank you for your work, Dr. Yvonne Brew.
Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
We thank God. A development pediatrician who is now training health workers on understanding overexposure to screen time and the effect of screen time on children between 0 and 12. She says that when you start exposing them between 0 and 4 to screen time, it can cause them to behave like non-human beings. It's very scary. Non-responsive, can't talk well. You know, as I was doing the interview, I was thinking about my home and the kind of changes I have to install and the kind of drastic measures I have to keep. Because, Sky, you see, we are busy parents. So I get home and I'm stressed from work because maybe online has written some story and they have misrepresented somebody and the people are calling Samens and they are stressing my life. And then I go home and then they say, oh, Daddy, can I have your phone? You know, and I'm like, oh, okay, you get it. So if you don't deliberately say that, bro, today no phone. So what I've tried to do is I've introduced what I call a phone day and a no phone day. So maybe I have to reduce the number of phone days to once a week, or screen day once a week. Problem, as I said, though, is that some of them now do some classes maybe once a week online. And sometimes they use that to do other things. So he's doing classes, but he's sitting in the veranda. You don't know. You know, he's doing classes. So, you know, so some way. So parents, I want listeners to tell me what we can do to deal with this matter. Because, I mean, the other thing I try to do is I let my kids play football and stuff like this. They go out and play to do external things. But you cannot go out all the time. Yeah. You know, so it's tough. It's tough. So, Charlie... And the thing that scared me after the thing she said. So are you going to ban it in your house? Let me take advice from you. Are you going to ban? What are we doing?
You know, because I know
this one is about us. Yeah, we are discussing what to do because you know, myself and Sky, our kids are almost around the same ages, and they know each other.
No, I'm interested in this conversation also because I enjoy spending time with my nephews, but I also noticed.
How old are they?
Oh, these are 5 and below.
My brother.
So and the boys in particular, they can be very exhausting.
My God.
By the time I get home, I wonder how my brothers and sisters are doing it because it's really exhausting.
They have endless energy.
Too much energy.
And so what the parent wants to do is to give them the device so they can have some peace.
Distracts them
but that is becoming a problem.
Yes.
So maybe we should get a football for them and say go and play.
Here's what I want you to do. When you go home, I don't know whether you have Netflix. You should look for the movie Megan.
And watch it with them or alone?
No, you should watch it with them. Now, it tells the story of, so in that particular that movie, the child was already addicted to a particular cartoon and device, right? And in the course of that, it led to a car accident that took the life of the mother and the father.
Oh.
Now she had to now move and live with the auntie. The auntie is within the tech space. She was designing these cartoons and then also robots for purposes of helping children to play with things like that. Because the lady also needed time to be able to finish a project.
She didn't have time for the boy.
She didn't have a time for the lady. Then she said, "Oh, you go and play with the go and play." In the process, the robot that was actually created became paired with the young girl. And it became a whole problem.
My God.
And eventually it nearly endangered the entire family. The point I'm trying to make is that technology has its own place in the economic development of our society, right? And then also in our social development. It has its own place. But it has to be used in a targeted and a measured way.
Correct.
If it is deployed at the wrong time without supervision, it creates its own problems. Because kids being kids always want to go behind the scenes and look for things they think that they identify with. In the process, it creates a lifelong problem. Now, if you don't have a delicate balance as to ensure that, okay, there is introduction in a targeted way, and then there is also control, or the guardrails are in place to ensure that, look, there is limited exposure.
Correct.
Then the kind of problems that the doctor was talking about will be there, because these are some of the things you read in the international journals about what's happening and the calls on, international governments to deal with this particular problem. For some reason, we are not picking it up.
All right, we'll share we'll read some comments on this shortly. Good morning, though. The Translight Solar team is announcing again that we are offering an opportunity to own a complete solar system by paying just 30 to 50% of the cost and spreading the rest over a 12 to 36 month period with flexible payment plans as low as 1,200 cedis. Get in touch now for early bird deals. Visit our website translightsolar.com or call 0504 249 229. Translight Solar, wherever there's sunlight, there's Translight. Now we'll wrap up with this in the next few minutes, and then we'll jump to another topic where car importers say the cost of cars getting too high. And I'll be speaking to them and also the automotive manufacturers. But I wanted Caleb to read a few of the comments on this addiction to gadgets. And I'm worried. I mean, the way Dr. Bruce spoke today, by the way, if you are a nurse or doctor or somebody, she's organizing early childhood developmental screening and autism workshop between 25th to 27 June, and it's 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily. It's only 300 cedis, so you can even sponsor people to go. And it's a 3-day event. Day 3 is for pediatricians only, but day 1 and 2 are for other health professionals. You may call 0202 265 695 to register. Let me call the number again: 0202 265 695. She's doing this at the Child Health Reception of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, which is Ridge Hospital. So it's a very simple thing.
Right.
I actually feel even non-health professionals can attend.
Sunday school teachers also, and then people who do a lot of, who handle kids, nannies and all that can also be part.
Read a few comments for me. I'd like to speak to a teacher on this matter as well.
Right. So, good morning, Bernard and panel members. The concern Sky raised in relation to online mode of teaching students in the universities is a big problem. Okay, we've done this. Thank you, Godwin. Good morning, City team. I agree completely with Sky. I think the schools can do and must do something about this situation. It is mostly the distance students. That program needs to be re-looked at. They use limited time to cover volumes of courses. Tafabam Davids from Kibi Sender through Bernardino. This matter of online staff has become so rampant in our universities. My younger brother is a student at you name the school, and they are almost always online. Meanwhile, he's a regular student, and I always ask myself, why did I even enroll him as a regular student while the school is always online? And the challenge is that the school you're mentioning is a technical university, and they're always online. So where is the transmission of skills and knowledge and attitudes in particular? Bernard, in addition to all that the pediatrician has said, there is also a high risk of developing myopia or short-sightedness. There is currently a myopia epidemic in Asia with 90% of children suffering same. I am an optometrist.
Let me read a comment from a lecturer, and then I'll speak to Angel Kabonu. Sky has a case, but he shouldn't generalize. We also have a blended approach for some of our postgraduate programs. This is a lecturer at the University of Ghana. My online classes are as effective as the in-person, even though I prefer the face-to-face encounter. All my students will tell you need to be in a decent environment to participate in class because my video is always on, and the students as well at all times. Lectures are recorded so that students with internet challenges don't miss anything after the class. I agree with him 100% that there should be a policy to guide online teaching because students just log in and will be doing all manner of things, even at the postgraduate level, if not checked. But if you ask me, I'll always go for in-person and not online. So this is a lecturer speaking. Now let's talk to Angel Kabonu, who is from the National Association of Graduate Teachers. Angel, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm with the National Association of Graduate Teachers, but I've sent my application for employment at Citi because I'm ending my presidency in December and I want job at Citi.
But your presidency is not your job. That's your job is a teacher. So how does your presidency make you unemployed, Angel?
Yeah, Bernard.
Yes.
A few months ago, some mathematics teachers were posted to a secondary school in Accra. I don't want to mention the name. So the headmistress decided to ask the head of department to conduct a test for the teachers who have been posted to the school. The teachers have been sent to teach mathematics. So they were given the Form 2 examination paper to write. Bernard, some of the people got below 28%. Apparently, they had done sandwich courses. They've also done these online courses. And they were not able to practically meet the standards of a Form 2 second term examination paper.
Wait, are these maths teachers or other teachers?
These are mathematics. They were sent to come and teach math.
And they couldn't answer Form 2 second term maths papers?
They could not. So the headmistress of the school decided that she will not be able to take them in the school. I just don't want to mention this. This happened just a few months ago.
Hey, so why are you giving me this example?
I'm giving you this example to collaborate with what Richard Sky said, that we need to really look at the way online programs are being conducted. However, if we want to assess students with online programs with the same way we assess students face-to-face, it will not work. The type of question, the nature of the questions, the expectations of the outcome, the practicality of the inquisitions in the questions will have to change so as to be able to get whether the students have imbibed the information and knowledge that they have been given. A blend will be very, very useful where there is a commensurate number of in-person interaction with the online program that we are having. But Bernard, the problem again is the number of students are increasing and growing. And the sought-out institutions are not able to cope with the numbers. So one solution is the online program. If you don't do the online program in Ghana, the students will access online outside. That is where we need to. If you look, we are losing tons and tons of money here because a lot of our students are doing online programs outside, and they are paying $3,600 and all that to outside university.
So let me ask you, as a secondary school teacher, at what age do you think children should be exposed to digital learning, the so-called EdTech? What's a reasonable way of introducing youngsters to EdTech so it doesn't damage their ability to learn?
Introducing should be at early age. By relying it as a means of teaching and learning should be at the degree stage. The earlier you introduce children to tech, their ability to understand, manipulate so that they don't get scared and so on and so forth, should be at an early age. But it should not be the means of teaching and learning. It should not be the means of instruction. So these children are not supposed to rely on it as a way of getting themselves educated. However, when people grow and they can understand concepts, then maybe the blend will have to come in and make sure that at that time they have formed their social relationships already, they have established their cultural links already, so they are no longer going to rely on technology. For me like this, I will use technology to enhance the social relationships that I've established all through my life. But if you let the children rely on it earlier, now that will be the means of establishing relations. And I'm going to give you an example, Bernard. When we were young, we were writing letters to our girlfriends. And the letters were so personal. I don't know whether you also did that, but in my time, you know, the goodness of the day have given me this opportunity to write you this lovely letter, blah, 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 blah. So there was a personal relationship between us and our friends. These days, people think they have established relationship, and it is like, hi, what's up? Oh, I'll see you ASAP. And they think that they are having personal. They are not having personal relationships. They are rather relating with the gadgets that they are using. So look at relationships these days among the younger folks. The personal touch is not there. The personal attachment is not there. So that is the problem. And then, of course, one thing I want to say is that we Ghanaians and some Africans, ours is Fiantra. We learn a little from the white man and we overdo things to our peril.
So having said this, I'm not aware if there's an EdTech policy in Ghana. Is this the time to start engaging on what the policy should contain and what restrictions we should place so that we do not Sinatra, as you said? Because I believe, look, we have a show here we call EdTech Monday. We do it once a month where we talk about the need for technology to bridge the gap in learning. And I've discussed this with many professionals, and they talk about why EdTech is important because in some communities the class sizes are large, they have access to information, it's not there. So EdTech is promoted as a positive. But now we are being told that overexposure can be harmful, which means we need a policy framework. And you are an experienced teacher, so maybe talk to me about that and what are some of the things the policy should contain?
Absolutely a good program you have there, because the reality of the modern world is technology. And we cannot allow ourselves to be left behind. Technology is good, but technology has to be measured. Technology is good, technology has to be applied reasonably. So, yes, a policy is absolutely necessary, but I plead that before, you know the way policies are enacted in this country, so I plead that before a policy, there should be engagement. And this program you're having this morning is very useful because it is widening people's scope on the matter and the fact that ideas will come, and it is these ideas that will have to make up the policy. You see, ICT is a tool. It's a means to an end. It's a conveyor belt. It is not life in itself. So how do we use technology to enhance humanity? The spirit of humanity must be in there. How do we use technology to enhance the wherewithal of humanity, to push us forward so as we become more humans than we are now? That should be the underlying theme of any such policy that will come. Time was when people thought that technology was going to replace the teacher in the classroom, and that with AI, children may not need to have the teacher. But the teacher is important. The teachers in the schools are important. Their body language, their behavior, their mannerisms, their interaction with the children, making the children see another scope of life and all that. It is not the 1+1. It is how to build a human being from the classroom that is most important. So I think that this morning you were touched by a certain spirit to introduce this topic. Thank you, Richard Sky. Thank you, Bernard.
All right.
And all that.
Final question, Angel. I remember many years ago I asked you when we were debating whether students can use mobile phones, and your view was that, Charlie, that you don't think it was necessary at the time. Now I've heard schools where there are so many students and so few teachers, and with the free SHS and these problems, I know a lot of parents would appreciate a means of reaching their students, particularly in the boarding house. So I'm talking secondary schools now.
Yeah.
What is your position? So would you say now that we can allow at least YAM phones in the secondary school so that the kids can contact their parents, or your position that secondary school, no phone? Is this still the position?
No, it is not the position. In fact, it's a controversial issue amongst us. Tomorrow I have a council meeting. It's one of the topics we are going to look at. The issue is this: the management of it. Do you know that in the United States, I did a program in the United States a few years ago where there is now this academic law in the U.S. that every lecturer in a university will have to upload his or her lesson notes on a site called Blackboard. I don't know whether you are aware of this. So that the students in Purdue University can access the notes of a lecturer in, let's say, George Mason University in Virginia, and so on and so forth. You have a situation where technology can make the student in government who is studying government as a subject get the notes of the teacher at Prempeh, who is also teaching government, and so on and so forth. The fear is that when that technology is not managed properly, because the students will have the tools in the school, they'll be using the tools in the school for other things other than the purpose for which it was meant for. I mean, pornographic sites are common these days. Other sites are common these days. They can even... So I think that it is the management. My position is shifting. I don't think it is also absolutely right to deny our students the possession of phones in the school, because, Bernard, they have the phones in the schools anyway. When you go to Presec right now, over 98% of students in Presec have their own mobile phone.
Hey.
Oh, yes.
Are you serious?
In St. Mary's, students cut the Bible and place the phone in the Bible. So when you see them, they were holding the Bible. That space, until you open the Bible, you will see that they've cut a square inside the Bible, the pages, and then they place the phone. So the former headmistress, Mrs. Grace Shen, called me and said, Mr. Kabunu, come and have a look at what your students are doing. So they have the phones anyway. The problem is, because it is against the rules, we are not able to manage its usage. So we also need to sit down and really look at that policy. Because, Bernard, the students have the phones in the school.
All right. I just wanted to say that until I speak to Presec PTA, I will not take the allegation that 98%, because I am quite close to the school. And I disagree with you when you say that 98%, because I go to Presec fairly regularly. Maybe I'm not in the boarding house. So you can say a good number of Presec students have mobile phones. But I cannot sit on public radio and allow you to slander my school in such terrible terms. So you know St. Mary's, but for Presec, no, I disagree with you.
Okay, let me recalibrate my statement by saying that I believe a large number of students in Presec have mobile phones.
That I can take. I thank you. I believe that this conversation will trigger a proper discourse on a policy around this, and hopefully we can engage you as well. So thank you, Angel Carbon, for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bernard.
So how did this topic come? Before we came on air, Richard Sky said he just wanted to say something. So I think the cocoa he went to buy, and the person who put sugar in his cocoa when he wasn't supposed to put, claiming she was studying economics on a phone in the cocoa shop. So is this the economics we learned and struggled at Gimpa? That now you are sitting in a cocoa shop that you are learning economics on a mobile phone that has a cracked screen. That's what brought the issue. But God has a way of working. It now even led to the children one. And I can tell you that most parents, the mobile phone is a convenient babysitter. So it's tough. And you cannot outsource parenting to a phone.
True.
So we have to think. And from the way I'm hearing, in advanced countries now, kids are having eye problems, social problems, all because of the use of technology. True. And as Angel said, in Ghana, when somebody teaches us something, overdo it. We don't apply the brakes. So I want to really urge parents to share their experience on how to manage devices at home.
Right.
And also, schools should tell us how they are
confronting the issue.
Yes, how and I'm talking of universities, how they are balancing the convenience of online learning with the need for practical. And I'll tell you this, in my economics class, it was when I got to my final year that I enjoyed the course, because we're smaller, and the teachers were teaching us like maybe 30 people. When you take your electives, and they can go through explanations, they will invite you to the board to draw the curve, and when you do that, you get confident. But if I was learning economics the way they are learning it today, it will be some way, because you just sit on the thing, look at the slides, you save the slides, but you won't get that, so we have to balance it. Let's read a few more comments.
So Caleb Fuga from Dex Technology, right? Dex Technology, he says there's a difference between screen technology and ed tech. Not all ed techs require screens. For instance, our ed tech solution provides simple tools that help to bring education to life. For instance, building the human digestive system, building the thermometer are some of the activities the science set offers. This is not a screen technology, but education technology. So putting it in,
I agree with him. Yeah, the use of ed tech is broad, but generally it tends to move towards screens, which is why I feel like they use that.
Sure.
Let's read more.
So more comments, right? So Bernard, what the lady said about the online teaching is very true. In fact, there was a time a lecturer told us not to record her lesson because it's her intellectual property, and that if you do that on her blind side and she gets to know, she will sue you. Because of this, if you miss her lectures, you can't have a recap of whatever she thought. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to chime in and support what Sky is saying. From my personal experience pursuing a master's program in the US, I found that accessing lectures requires a laptop or a desktop computer. Unfortunately, phones aren't compatible. I just wanted to add my 2 cents and confirm what Sky mentioned. Send that through. Bernard, people must know that parenthood is a wild ride. Yes, 1 minute you are watching your kid master the art of making a mess, and then the next you are questioning your life choices. But amidst all the chaos, let's not forget that screens aren't babysitters. They might give us a breather, but at what cost? Our kids need our presence, not just our Wi-Fi connection. Let's make time for the things that matter, even the boring bits. Our parents did it for us. Let's make time to watch them jump around and kick the ball the wrong way. It's what we signed up for. Stephen from Manette with a parenting manual. Good morning, Bernard and team.
There's a very funny message I got here from Philip Achon.
Okay.
He says, Aloski,
yes.
What about the parents who themselves are addicted to the screen? He said it's an issue of regulation, not a complete ban.
Yeah.
If the parents are addicted to the screen, how can he manage his own child?
Because they are driving, they're on the phone. They are cooking, they're on the phone. They even take the phone to the bathroom.
Yeah, TikToking.
I've actually, I used to charge my phone across my room.
Right.
For the simple reason that when the alarm blows, I'll wake up and go and pick it. But when the phone is next to me, I just wait on snooze.
Yeah.
But I think that when the phone is near me too, I'm tempted to be going through it before I sleep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to revert to sending the phone to Zongo.
That's
across,
a good one. I'll adopt it.
Send it across the room. So that when it calls, you have to wake up and
You
walk.
have to get up and go to
Yes,
it.
so
Right.
that's a good one. A few more comments. Somebody sent me something I thought I would read briefly. And thank you, listeners, for helping me with this. So this is from a pediatric organization. Early childhood tablet use and outburst of anger. Caroline Fitzpatrick, PhD. Pedro Mariopan, PhD. Annie Lemieux, MSc. Elizabeth Harvey, PhD. Fabricio de Andrade Rocha, PhD. And Gabriel Garon Carria, PhD. So 7 doctors and a half.
That's right.
It says tablet use continues to increase in preschool age children. The use of mobile devices has been linked to child emotional dysregulation. However, few studies have been able to show a clear direction of association between child tablet use and the development of self-regulation skills. In addition, few studies have modeled within-person associations over time. Then objective. So the objective of this study, to estimate how child tablet use contributes to expressions of anger and frustration across ages 3 to 5 to 5.5 years at the within-person level. The study team also examined the extent to which associations are bidirectional to clarify the direction of the correlations, design, setting, and participant. This prospective community-based convenience sample of 315 parents of preschool aged from Nova Scotia, Canada. So that's your hometown.
Nova Scotia,
Canada. Yeah. Was studied repeatedly at the ages of 3.5. So they were aged 3.5 in 2020 and 4.5 age 2020. Or born, okay, so 3.5 means they were born in 2020 and 4.5 2021 and 5.5 2022 during the COVID pandemic. All analyses were conducted between October 5, 2023 and December 15, 2023. Exposure. Parent reported tablet usage at the ages 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5. Main outcome and measurement. Parents reported child expressions of anger and frustration at the ages of 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5 years using the children's behavior questionnaire. Results. The sample was equally distributed across the child sex. 171 were identified by parents as being born boys and 144 as girls. Most reported being Canadian and married. So these are the parents. A random intercept cross-lagged panel model revealed that a 1SD increase in tablet use at age 3.5, corresponding to 1.15 hours per day, was associated with a 22% SD skill increase in anger. Let me read this again. A random intercept lagged panel model revealed that a 1SD increase in tablet use at age 3.5, which is about 1 hour, 1.15. So that's 1/15 of an hour. So maybe 70 minutes per day, was associated with a 22% SD skill increase in anger and frustration at age 4.5 years. Standardized coefficient of 0.22, 95% confidence interval. A 1SD skill increase in anger and frustration at 4.5 years was associated with a 22% increase corresponding to 0.28 hours a day increase in tablet usage at 5.5 years. Conclusions and relevance. In this study, child tablet usage at age 3.5 was associated with more expressions of anger and frustration by the age of 4.5. Child proneness to anger and frustration at age 4.5 was then associated with more use of tablets by age 5.5. So two things. When the child uses the tablet age 3.5 and 4.5, they get more angry. And when they use the tablet age 3 and 5, 3.5 and 4.5, they are more likely to use it when they are also 5. So it's like they are getting to use it more. These results suggest that Early childhood tablet use may contribute to a cycle that is deleterious for emotional regulation. Now let me read the thing properly. So the SD is standard deviation. You know, I left school chair, so I forget some of these things. So I think the conclusion is clear. Based on what pediatrician has told us in this research, which is 2023 research, it says that early childhood tablet use may contribute to a cycle that is deleterious or harmful for emotional regulation. So kids cannot control their anger because they are overexposed to tablet users at a very early age. So I think the evidence is clear. And what we need to do is to think carefully about the implications of this and come up with a solution. I'll take a short break. When I come back, we'll do another debate. This debate is on the issue of importing cars versus manufacturing them in Ghana. And Caleb will read a story for us from the automotive importers, and I'll speak to the automotive manufacturers. But if you are a business or individual looking to cut energy costs and go green, don't miss the AGI Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency B2B Expo happening on Thursday, 22nd May at the Accra International Conference Center. Come and connect with trusted renewable companies, explore financing options, and get sustainable energy solutions tailored for your business. Admission is free. Go to agiesc.com/expo for more information. This event is brought to you by AGI Energy Service Center in partnership with Swiss Contact, Energy Commission, Partnership Africa Project on Vocational Skills, Training in Solar Energy, and GIZ Pact for Skills. Attention please, this is an account information update call from OmniBasic Bank to all our beautiful customers. Kindly proceed to any of our branches or visit our website omnibasic.com.gh to update your account records with your Ghana card. For more information, call 0307 086000 or 0800 100 790. OmniBasic Bank, not just another bank. You want to upgrade your office space? Call the experts. You want a healthier chair that takes care of your spine? Call Expert Office Furnishing Company for your ergonomic swivel chairs today. Our ergonomic swivel chairs have intelligent seat cushion with dynamic bionic spine pressure relief design, equipped with double wing support chips, and has great benefits for your health and spine. At Expert Office Furnish Company, we have executive desk cabinets, conference, and all office furniture that suits your budget. We are off the Atomic Hill Estate Road on the Asori Junction near ASI Plaza, Ashoman Estate. You may reach us on 0571 386 600. That's 0571 386 600, or go to expertofficefurnish.com for more information. This June, something amazing is about to happen in Accra. Are you a farmer with fresh produce into fish farming, poultry, or livestock? Then don't miss the Agri Fair 2025 happening at the Far Sutherland Children's Park from Friday 20th June to Sunday 22nd June. It's the ultimate weekend marketplace. Bring your children. Yes. From fresh farm products and vegetables to poultry, livestock, fish, aquaculture, and agro inputs, even processing machinery, all at unbeatable farm gate prices. Whether you're selling or buying, don't miss this opportunity. So if you are a farmer, a processor, or a supplier looking to connect with thousands, this is your platform. Register to exhibit your produce at the Agri Fair by calling this number 0205 973 973. The Agri Fair is powered by Channel 1 Television with support from Citi FM, sponsored proudly by Exim Bank, the Legacy Crop Improvement Center, and the Development Bank Ghana. When we come back, we will talk about the growing frustration over the cost of imported cars and what to do with our automotive policy. Stay with us.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So you need a vehicle tracking system to manage your fleet. But how do you choose the right company for real results? Most tracking companies just sell you a system and leave you on your own. But at Instroma GPS, we go beyond that. With expert consultation, real-time tracker monitoring, emergency support, and constant updates, we make sure you maximize savings and efficiency. Join hundreds of businesses that trust Instroma GPS for world-class fleet management. Call 024-676-7662 now for a free demo. Instroma GPS. Your choice, your savings.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators. This is your chance to shine. Channel One TV invites you to exhibit at Agri Fair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery? This is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel One TV with support from 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank and Legacy Crop Improvement Center.
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
17 minutes past 9. Today we are dealing with two big issues. First has to do with screen time, growing usage of online and digital methods for teaching at the university level, and also at the primary and secondary school level. And of course, the effect of screen time on the development of skills by kids. We spoke to a pediatrician and also a teacher. Now, there's another issue brewing. Caleb, what is it?
So, car dealers are worried over the high cost of vehicles, and stakeholders are calling for policy reforms to address rising prices. So, Emmanuel Kwame Asante is writing for Graphic Business that the sharp increase in vehicle prices in Ghana has become a major concern for both consumers and car dealers alike. Now, over the past year, the cost of purchasing a vehicle, whether new or used, has risen steeply, leaving many Ghanaians frustrated and dealers grappling with slower sales and shrinking profits. Several car dealers in Accra say the problem is multifaceted, ranging from the volatile exchange rate to high import duties and the effects of global inflation, so dollarization. A car dealer based at Aboseokai, Kwame Sapon, did not mince words when asked what the biggest challenge was. According to him, most of the cars on the market are imported from the US, Japan, and Europe. With the Ghana cedi steadily depreciating against major foreign currencies, car dealers are forced to pass the increased cost on to buyers. Quote, "Everything we do is in dollars, buying the cars, paying freight, and clearing them at the port. The dollar keeps going up, but our cedi is always falling. It's killing our business. A car I bought at 65,000 Ghana cedis last year is now over 170,000 Ghana cedis. The customer sees the price and walks away." Now, Emmanuel Odro, who has been in the business for over a decade in La Paz, said it is not just about forex rates. He believes the government's tax structure is making the situation worse. He suggests that the government needs to review its vehicle import policies, particularly the duty regime for used cars. Quote, "The import duties are ridiculous. You pay duty on everything. The car, the engine size, the year of manufacture, even the weight. it makes no sense. A car we bought for $6,000 can end up costing 100,000 Ghana cedis by the time it hits the showroom. It goes on to talk about customs now. Yaobuedu, who is another dealer, operates around Spintex Road, and he blames inefficiencies and inconsistencies at the country's ports for compounding the problem. He called for more transparent customs processes and standardized valuation procedures. Quote, sometimes you do not even know how much you are going to pay until the car arrives. The valuation officers can give you two different figures for the same car on different days. That unpredictability affects our pricing, and at the end of the day, the customer pays for it. Now, an import-export expert and executive secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association, Samson Asaki Awingobet, added a broader economic perspective to the issue. According to him, the vehicle pricing problem is part of a larger economic challenge facing Ghana. Quote, vehicle prices are a reflection of our trade imbalances and overdependence on imports. As long as the cedi continues to weaken and we rely on imported goods without equivalent exports, we will continue to feel the pressure. The government must invest in industrialization and create incentives for local assembly plants to thrive.
So it's an interesting story because on one hand,
yes, please,
the people complaining are car importers and car dealers who are saying that the cost of importing cars has become too expensive.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Awingobit is asking for a solution which supports the local assembling plant.
Yeah.
The problem, though, is that for the local assembly plants to have breathing space to grow, the government may need to use tariffs to discourage cheap imports so that the pricing of the assembled cars can be more competitive. And then if they grow and the industry has a broader base, then car prices can come down.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to two people to see how we can work around this. Jeff Pepra, I think is the president of the actually that's the CEO of Volkswagen Ghana, but also the president of the Ghana Automotive Importers Association. Jeff, Automotive Assemblers Association.
Okay.
Mr. Pepra, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. Good morning.
Great. Did I get your designation right? So you are the CEO of Volkswagen and also the head of the Automotive Assembly Association in Ghana, correct?
Correct. Now also as a vice president for the West Africa Auto Manufacturers Association. Yeah.
Wonderful. So I think Ghana is in a catch-22 situation, and this is the reason I say this. The people who import used cars and other cars are complaining about the higher cost and the growing cost of these cars for various reasons. The multiplicity of taxes and tariffs and the challenges at the port. And therefore, they believe they need a reprieve on duties so they can import cars cheaper. But the long-term solution to all of this is obviously developing your own automotive industry, which is what you and your people are doing. But if these people's request is acceded to, it will then hamper your short-term prospects, because once you can open the floodgates for cheap imports to come in, then cars you manufacture here will not have a market. So how do we untangle this problem?
Yeah, but Bernard, thanks for the question, and also thanks for having me on this program. I mean, the first question probably we should ask ourselves as a country is, where do we want to go when in terms of auto industry? I mean, these topics have been before even assembling back in the early 60s, late 60s, and it starts and it goes down. We start and it goes down because we've not been having a strategic policy guiding this topic. But what we had now, that we see that the pushback on the pricing or the import tax. We know that we do have import taxes, high import taxes, but we shouldn't forget that, as it was also mentioned in the publication, dollar has been something that is ruling everything. Once the dollar goes up, it affects everything. It affects the importation cost and all this stuff, because it is something that is a big problem issue for us. I mean, you can remember when we started this assembly vehicles back in 2020, we could buy even a Polo for VW at the price of 100,000 cities. But the dollar crash, it goes up, and the city crash, and then we have almost about 50% incremental. So it reflects on that. We shouldn't forget about that. So the dollar or the foreign exchange plays a key role in this high cost of vehicles. However, the salvage topic, I mean, this has been a collaboration with used car dealers and importers, a collaboration work where we have come out with an automotive code which describes the salvage vehicles and certain taxations that are allocated to this. So we must work within that framework. And if we want to grow the industry, like what we see in the other developing countries, we see that it all started in assembling and then it grew. I can give South Africa, which started 72 years now. They have doing auto manufacturing industry, and this has become a second backbone of the economy. If you look at South Africa, mining is the number one strong supporter of the economy, and number two is the automotive industry. And Ghana, we have been very, very lucky that we got some policy which has been able to attract almost all the big automotive manufacturers, the OEMs, into our country. And we shouldn't miss this opportunity, because our neighbors are looking at us. They are learning from what we are doing, and we must to embrace this. And
but do we have the advantage and the characteristics that South Africa has to enable them develop this? For example, they have a larger market, they have a relatively wealthier population, and therefore you can say that manufacturing automotives in South Africa, we can see how that can grow. Ghana is relatively smaller. So is it a good comparison to make?
Yes, it is. I mean, I'm trying to make a good comparison to show where they started from 72 years ago. They have managed to ban even used cars importation into the country. And we need to start from somewhere, and then as they did some years back ago. So we have to start by also downsizing the importation by having salvage criteria and also some imposing some taxes that will help us to downsize the importation of salvage vehicles. And we know the problems that the salvage vehicles are giving us. We share the concern, and we have been working together with the used car dealers. I mean, they can confirm. We've sat in meetings, we've worked together, and even the auto policy, the whole auto policy was a collaboration. It wasn't just that the government sit in a place somewhere and just did something. It was a collaboration or something. So what we see that now is high prices, high inflation. That is where we are seeing the impact here. But looking at the local assembly product that we have here, at the moment, we see that it's almost the same price to certain vehicles that are maybe 1 to 5 years, that the pricing are almost in the same pricing. But coming to the salvage, we need to find a way of downsizing this. And we have also shared that this is an opportunity for the used vehicle market that they jump on what the local assembling is doing, because now we are in the 5th year now. We have started having used cars coming out of Ghana assembling manufacturing or assembly products. These vehicles, you do have the history about them. You know that it's gone through all the after-sales services and everything. So there's a more transparency that's behind these vehicles. Other than the salvage vehicles that are coming in, we have no clue about it. People don't know what it is. It could be an accident car bring together. But we must do something. Think about.
So Jeff, the 120-day compact of the president, one of the promises he made was that he will reverse the I think there's a ban on salvage vehicle importation, or there's some tariff on it, and I think Mr. Mama promised to reverse that. He hasn't done that yet. Today that you are launching today that you're having your automotive conference, what are you going to urge him to do? Are you going to urge him that he should not fulfill that promise, since it will be inimical to your industry?
We are already in engagement with the government. Myself, I've met the president together with our and the minister, the sector minister for trade. So there's a conversation going on how we can get the salvage definition properly. It's not going to be a complete reverse. That's what I know from the government. But we need to look at it and see where that we don't kill also businesses which are potential to grow some sort of So there's a communication or conversations that's going on. The government wants to do something about it, but we're also looking at how we can grow the auto industry or into a manufacturing state, because there are a lot of things behind it. If we are able to get the auto industry right, we are going to have also in addition component manufacturing, which is almost times 7 of what we are doing at the moment, because jobs are going to create. People are well going to be paid. I mean, we can talk about it maybe in a different conversation or program and go much more into details. So I think where we should see ourselves is how we want to treat this topic, and then move as a country as a head, because we can't still be doing the same thing that we have been doing, that it's not giving us a progress just because someone wants to have the only benefit. But it's something that a collective thing for the country.
We wish you luck with your program tonight. We'll talk again when the issue develops. Thank you, Jeff Pepra. He is the CEO of Volkswagen Ghana, also the president of the Automotive Assemblers. They think we need to think long term to protect the industry. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with this, because the group that's calling for some intervention on the price of imported vehicles would also speak to us. Stay tuned.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame, how are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash foam.
What about a sofa where go relax my body?
Ash foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame, Ash foam.
Mommy, I don't feel you. Ash foam all the way.
For mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more, don't waste time and visit any Ash foam showroom across the country, or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ash foam. Feel it, know it.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement, unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody already getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no Diamond Cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrady, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
I'm a fool and a fool. I saw the thing going. Kenny, ice. Where's for the
It's 35 after 9. We'll be talking to Frank Kofiga Atanli of the Vehicle and Asset Dealers Union of Ghana very shortly. But Accra, are you ready? The Momo Fest train is here. Come and experience seamless shopping and music experience from your favorite vendors and artists from the 16th to the 17th of May 2025 in Medina. Join us for a vibrant cashless market with over 50 top-tier vendors in Accra, up to a 20% discount on goods and services on sale, up to 10,000 Ghana cedis in the Momo Keteke game show, awareness on Momo and other fraud-related issues, entertaining games, and stand a chance to win souvenirs. Great performances by Joey B, Mr. Drew, Sefa, and Olive the Boy. Be part of the amazing fanfare. Download the Momo app now for a free pass to this exciting event. Momo Fest is powered by Momo from MTN and sponsored by MTN Business and IO Insurance. So download the Momo app now and let's stay connected everywhere you go. And when you buy anything, it has to be the very best. When you want cement, choose Diamond. 42.5 hour grade is the highest quality on the Ghanaian market. We now have the 32.5 hour grade affordable for you. You deserve the very best, so make Diamond Cement your number one choice for all your building needs. Anyone who wishes to buy Diamond Cement should deal with us directly. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide. We have factories in Aflao, Takrady, and Buipe. 0244-313-368 is the number, or 0540-111-978. Diamond Cement is still as hard as a diamond. So let's jump onto the phone lines and talk to Frank Kofiga Atanli now, on who is with the Vehicle and Asset Dealers Union of Ghana. Frank, so we just spoke to the Automobile Assemblers Association of Ghana, and they make us understand that they are urging the government, or they're engaging the government, to take a second look at its promise with respect to salvage vehicles and the importation of same. What is the feeling among your association members with respect to the promise made by the government and the fulfillment of same, in the light of the push being made by the Automobile Assemblers Association to help grow the manufacturing industry in Ghana?
I think, good morning and thanks for having me. I think for starters, we need to let the country know that the used market controls about 90% of the whole automobile sector. Okay. And the new market, or the assemblers, only have 10%. Now, if we are going to categorize it, then it means that we are the majority. When it comes to formulation of policies and the implementation of same, we have the majority. Now, we have spoken and we have said time without number that we are not in any way in competition with the assembly. We have welcomed them. We know that as a country, the paradigm will have to definitely shift. We cannot be doing the same old things that we've been doing for the past 40 years. But we ask that we move and we take baby steps in implementing some of these policies. Now, constitutional when we talk about using legislation using duty to sort of discourage the importation of new cars. Now, there is no amount of legislation or policy that can be a determinant of demand and supply. It's the resources that people have. Okay, if I don't have money, if I'm a consumer and I don't have the money to walk into a showroom and buy a vehicle, I will look for the nearest dealer where I can actually afford it. Now, there have been different forms of backdoor engagement to try and some of discourage this particular this thing from happening. Now, I listened to Mr. Petra speak, and I was a bit disappointed because he knows very well that we have sat and we have discussed the standardization, the auto standardization into detail. And we have defined the various sectors that informs both our market and their market. It's actually inconclusive because we have certain gray areas that we need to tackle. We are already embedded with exchange rate fluctuation, import duties and taxes, global chain issues that has to do with increase in shipping and what have you, operational costs and other conventional policies already. So if they are calling on government to sort of increase duties at the port or use other incentives to discourage it, I find it very alarming, considering that the Ghanaian has not become rich overnight. The copy and paste policy from South Africa cannot fit into this particular economy because this particular economy is different. If 80%, okay, by statistics, 80% of this economy is in the informal sector, it means that the 20% in the formal sector alone should be able to afford brand new vehicles. Even that is not possible. Because if, like he said in the earlier submission, a vehicle that they pegged at 100,000 Ghana cedis today is 5 times more. The question is, even if they introduce good automobile financing policies, how many Ghanaians, how many percentage out of the 20% in the formal sector can walk into a showroom and buy a vehicle? So we told them time without number, that let's hasten steadily on this particular implementations and pushing government to do things that at the end of the day will be at the detriment of the the final consumer. They should also know that if government should increase duties at the port or use policy to somehow discourage this, who suffers it? The final consumer suffers it. The Ghanaian suffers it. It's not the dealer.
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
Yes, Frank. So I was going to ask you now, the automobile manufacturers are making the case that they are creating jobs and that in terms of salvage vehicles, we often do not know the source. Some may be accident vehicles, some may be stolen. And if you even look at the emissions that come out from salvage vehicles, there are environmental concerns and strong ones to be made for promoting the automotive the manufacturing industry here in Ghana. So if you were engaging the government, what argument would you make that to consider both you, the importers of vehicles, and then also give space for them to thrive as well? What's the argument to be considered here?
Now, we started working on the standardization that has to do with automobiles sanitizing the system. We, as a union, have been in consultation with FIC, the Auto Theft Department of the Ghana Police Service. There are a lot of things that we are doing in the background to sort of sanitize the system when it comes to the definition of salvage and what is important to the country and the roadworthiness of these vehicles. The first question I want to ask is, what have the new automotive, manufacturing authority, or I don't know, the association or the union that they have, the group that they have, what have they been able to put together in respect to the percentage of, or in respect to the numbers or the employment that they have put together? Now, let me start from here. When a vehicle is imported into this country, the first person that gets a job to do is the agent at the port. The second person will be the tow truck driver that will transport the vehicle from Tema to Accra. Tow truck drivers are active. The automotive workers You understand? If I'm going to go into the value chain and the people that make up the value chain, we are talking about 100. Okay. Now, when it comes to the plants that you have put, they have assembled, or the factories from where they are assembling these vehicles, we are talking about semi-knockdown vehicles that come in with only tires removed, bumpers removed, and they come in and they use both and not to put them together. We've been to their factory, their assembling plant. How many are they employing? And look at the total number of people in the value chain, all the way to the auto sprayer. You understand? We are still employing hundreds of thousands of people in the used market.
Fair enough. So that answers.
You have to do.
Right, Frank. That answers the. Thank you, Frank. That answers the job creation point. You think that for you, the importers, you create more jobs than the assemblers will do. But there is a big conversation about the impact of importation on our forex. And as you speak, you tell us that 90% of the market is controlled by you, the importers. It means that when the government actually, when you all come together as a cooperative, you are strong enough to perhaps even go into the manufacturing yourself. So maybe there is room for collaboration between you and the automotive manufacturers, and then the government can look at some approach to help, so that in order to do some import substitution, we could be having more of you who are in the import sector of vehicles go into the manufacturing and even perhaps assembling. If manufacturing right from scratch will be too much, perhaps we can put you all together and you go into some assembling of these vehicles. What do you say to that?
I think that this conversation has been had, and then over the time, I think in the previous government, a group of dealers were sent to, I think, is it Egypt and other countries to look at component manufacturing for these assemblies.
Right.
Now, we as a union took our turn. We sponsored a team to go to South Africa and observe and learn the processes and the strategies of the copy and paste document that came from South Africa. We further went all the way to Antwerp. We went to Brussels. I was in Brussels myself. So we can learn their trade, the manufacturing, and how their used vehicles move into the hands of the used dealers. I want to state here emphatically myself. I won't mention the name of the company or the brand. I went there and I tried as much as possible to have a dialogue with them as to how some of these used vehicles from their showrooms can be transmitted or can be sold to us. The price for a unit, let me use a Land Cruiser. The price for a Land Cruiser, a used Land Cruiser in Ghana, which has a registration of about 15 or registered in 2015, was more expensive than the Land Cruiser that I will import from Oman, bring it into Ghana, clear it at the cost, at a high duty, and still sell it. I'll still make extra 25% difference than what is being given to us here. So the question is that, what proper measure have they put in place to offload the old or the used vehicles that stated that have good maintenance culture, have a proper history and all of that? What system have they put in place to offload those vehicles to what? To the used dealers? And not to say that they are only assembling or importing. I'm using my word carefully. They are only assembling or importing 10%, because their policies state that if they are unable to meet the 10%, then they are limited to import fully assembled vehicles into the country. They have all these tax rebates, and then they have all these exemptions to themselves, and still their vehicles are more expensive. So there's the gray areas. The gray areas are rather benefiting from their trade, and we set them with that number that we should sit together, we should agree on the best way possible. If we can use the front end to deal with the standardization, where we have considered a lot, we have considered a lot. Honorable Andrew, where it is listening today, he will attest to it. Dr. What's his name? Is it Dr. Oklu of the Standard Authority? You also attest to it. We considered a lot so that their market will thrive. Ghanaians will see it very appealing, so they can can walk into their showroom and buy.
Fair enough. So, Frank, I'm going to come back to you and your message to the government on this particular one, where you think the government should finally settle, where importers, vehicle and asset dealers will be happy, and then the manufacturers also will be happy. But you do know that the cedi has been consistently appreciating against the dollar. And but we are told that the prices of vehicles have shot up astronomically in the past. Guta has urged its members to reduce the prices of their wares to Ghanaians, so we feel it in our pockets. Vehicle and Asset Dealers Union of Ghana, are your members also considering reducing the prices of your vehicles as a result of their appreciation of the cedi against the dollar and other major trading currencies?
Caleb, the answer is yes, because it's automatic. If a dealer imports a vehicle into the country, every expense that goes into the final cost of the vehicle is in US. So if the if the cedi has appreciated against the dollar, and then the total cost of my import is $10,000, I look at the exchange rate today and I use that as my sale value in the equivalent in cedi. So it is very automatic. But I want to say this, that it is interesting for Ghanaians to note that at a time where auto dealers use the USD as a store of value, today is no more. Because in our garages, in our sales points, everybody is surrendering the dollar because it's no longer valuable or it's no longer a store of value.
Right.
So you can be rest assured that if you go to the garages, the price of the vehicles have been reduced to reflect the appreciation of the cedi.
That's a good one. Do you know by what percentage it has been reduced to?
It depends on the individual, because we don't have any regulatory policy in terms of how much a vehicle should be sold. And then you know very well that it's very difficult to source USD from the bank. So most of the dealers use the black market. So it depends on where you source your USD from, and then the rate at which you use to sell the vehicle. But I want to state on this to all the union members who are listening to me right now. The government is committed, and the government is going to honor his word on the Custom Amendment Act 2020. We have engaged the minister. The minister has done extensive engagement with us. We've had communication all the way to the highest level, and we know that come 27th May, if Parliament should resume the process through the Finance Ministry for the amendment of the Act 2020, we will push into full gear. The government, through the social contract to us, I think we don't need to say how honorable they have been. Okay, so if the new or the automotive manufacturers want to have a conversation as to how we can better, transform the economy or the sector where it's segregated, there's no competition amongst us, so that Ghanaians can benefit, it will be better for us. Can you imagine that in the standardization, they're asking the definition of a used vehicle should be 0 to 6 years? It means, this is what it means, that for me to import a vehicle into this country, yes, we understand the issue of their homologation period and everything that has to do with it, for which reason we are giving them the space, okay? It means that if, for example, a vehicle, let's say a Mercedes C300, okay, 2025 is manufactured. I cannot bring that vehicle into this country until the vehicle is 6 years old. Taking into consideration that the government acts that you cannot bring a vehicle which is more than 10 years.
Right.
There's only first period
Frank,
for that.
We'll leave it here. We'll leave it here. Thank you. We'll meet at the other side where probably we'll buy some plants or something like that.
They are now cheap, so please. let's do business.
Very well. Thank you, Franco Figa Atali is with the Vehicle and Asset Dealers Union of Ghana. Some messages have come through. Car duty is a killer. I bought a car for 148,000, including shipping, and the duty was 97,000. Okay, you didn't add the various currencies, but you ask how is the port manufacturing any part of the car? That's a very interesting question you add to your message. 0549 986 996 is the line. Number of messages have come through, some on our earlier conversation with respect to kids and screen time and EdTech and the blend of the both. Emmanuel Dowuna Okra says, good morning, Bernard. The way to go is a blended approach. Clearly, we need the infrastructure, responsible parenting to be able to mitigate the issues on the table. I thought a girl in Akuse to rewrite her WASI, which she passed successfully. What in person couldn't do, I used tech to achieve. As a parent, the screen time of children should be moderated. Good morning, team. We had a free eye screening in our church a year ago, Presbyterian Church, and the doctors mentioned from their screening reports that the older generation, that is YAF, that's 30 years to 40, had better sight than the younger generation below 30 years. That's YPG to Children's Service. And the surprising thing is that Children's Service dominated the bad side. The doctors mentioned that from interactions with the children, they could boldly conclude that it's because of screen time. Our challenge in working with the report is getting a working template that could be given to parents and schools. At least for a church, we don't teach with the screens. Ni Allah from La sent that through. There are more messages. Good morning. Thank you for discussing this topic. I recently undertook a short online course with one of the universities in Ghana. It was difficult taking the course. I wish I stopped the program, but I already paid for it, so I had to continue. Internet connectivity was a problem. In fact, the lecturer himself goes off intermittently only to get reconnected and apologize to us. Sometimes you don't even get a full sentence without interruptions. The lectures become so boring. You have to have two laptops or one laptop, one phone, especially whenever you have to watch what the lecturer is presenting or demonstrating, and you also practice on the other device. Bright from Sunyani send that through. Tough experiences for people trying to take an online course as a result of the poor internet connectivity and how insufficient the whole virtual experience is turning out to be. Sky.
Yeah, so Ma, for instance, says that the long run effect of free for all education, regardless of your score, is also an underlying factor. Education or tuition should be free, but based on a cut of scores. That would also be a motivational factor to learn or study. Currently, the kids are entitled to free education without focusing on passing the exams. The whole generational problem is being brewed. Karma is real. The politicians should have that in mind.
Right. Kafui Amanfo sent this one through. She says, I love the conversation this morning. We have a serious issue and the solution requires an end-to-end policy for online engagement. Now, it is important we consider what we had in the past compared to what we have today in terms of development and growth. While growing, I could count many parks, that is football parks. Today, my son can hardly count one in our community. As a technical person, I think we clearly need a policy to direct school, child online engagements, and human as well as community developments. You are.
And Mimi mentions a particular cartoon, says that I banned that idiotic show in my home years ago. And then, references another that many people have mentioned.
A lot of people have mentioned it on Twitter.
Yeah, bright colors, rapid scene changes make the kids overstimulated. It's and you have kids who are
they're beginning to talk like the cartoon characters they enjoy.
Like a YouTube video that said that particular cartoon is like everything about it is like it's designed to stick in a kid's mind. And, I think, look, you have to remember that these cartoons is not just cartoons. They are selling toys. They are selling like bed sheets. All the associated merchandise. That's where the real money is.
That's true.
So once you get the kids to like it, I want this bed sheet.
Spider-Man.
I want this toy. So it's all business.
Backpack and things like that.
So yeah,
wow.
They're engineering the kids in a particular way.
It's business for them.
Interesting.
They're engineering consumers.
We have a lot to do as parents and adults. Good morning, Bernard. What we need is a blend of the learning approach, merge online resources with in-person teaching, offering flexible, personalized learning experiences and enhanced engagement for diverse students. We have a dedication here, very quick. Happy glorious birthday to Mr. Hubert Dake, Executive Director of Finance, Leicester Hospital, Airport Hills. This is from Abeku to you, Hubert Dake, Executive Director of Finance, Leicester Hospital, Airport Hills. It's almost top of the hour, and that's all time will allow us for. So many messages.
There's one that I have to
yes,
better than team. I have
sure.
a young man who I supported to do distance learning at the University of Ghana. And he's really struggling because of this issue. I had to take him through his econs 101 slides and help him to get to know how to calculate and interpret different types of elasticities, because I happen to read economics, to have read economics for the first degree. He's coming in from Oxford. So these problems we have to deal. Anyway, the conversation hasn't ended here.
Yeah, it has to continue. I will continue it in boardrooms, classrooms, in cars, every space that matters. Cabinet level, very important. We need to safeguard the future of everyone. Quickly before we go, if you've ever feel like the best products made in Africa are hidden, just like Africa's finest treasures, well, let me tell you, Afro Quality just changed the game. They've brought together incredible, authentically African product and under one roof, celebrating our creativity, excellence, and pride. So from beautifully crafted, ready-to-wear fashion straight from Ghana, Kenya, and Rwanda, to running shoes from Kenya, watches from South Africa, and organic skincare gems from South Sudan. Afro Quality has it all for those who demand the very best. Find them in East Legon on the Labalesha American House Road, right on top of Say Cheers. Check out afroquality.com. Follow Afro Quality on Instagram or TikTok. Call 055-3392-345 for more. Afro Quality, because you deserve the finest. Ejubi Rafia Kenting is here with the news at 10. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Citi News at 10.